1-800. They're gonna do a study on me. They're like, how the fuck are you still alive?
Are you serious?
No. I said if it
Okay,
was,
all
yeah.
right,
I was
okay,
saying if it was,
all
they'd be
right,
doing a
okay.
study on me. Like, oh my god.
Right.
No, I was annoyed. I
Mm,
had to actually go in. Usually, I do a blood pressure machine, like at home, like one of those little
yeah.
like you spend like $50 on Amazon and they send you one things. And
All right, right.
it started like it gave me like a blood pressure. It was like normal, like a little high, like 135 over like I think 87 or something. But the doctor was like, oh, that's a little high. Why don't you check right after you wake up in the morning? And I did, and it was like 190 over 87, and I'm like, I don't think that's right. And then
Right,
I
right.
waited for
One
like
of those
20
sounds
minutes
really
because
low.
I'm like, and it was 180 over, and I was like, I'm not at 180. I would definitely be having some sort of symptoms of high blood pressure that high. I think
Right, right.
from previous experience, but because like when I get panic attacks, my blood pressure skyrockets, and you can tell like your heart beats really hard and everything. And
Right.
so I was like, all right, well that's not good. That's not right. So I had to actually go all the way in and get it checked, and they were like, oh no, you're fine. Like your blood pressure's fine. So it's like, okay, I will take this.
Fucking windy and hot as fuck.
Oh yeah,
Right.
oh yeah, that's right. You live in a desert. Haha,
Mhm.
sucker. We're really lucky this year. Like it seems like we're gonna have a very mild summer. Like it's gonna be warm, but it's probably gonna be like mostly in the upper 80s and lower 90s. Not like a lot of hundreds. Like it seems like we're gonna have a very
Yeah,
mild
honestly, it
summer.
took
Like it's
longer
gonna
than
be
it normally
warm, but it's
does to
probably gonna
get
be
this
like
hot.
mostly in
So
the
it
upper
wasn't
80s
bad.
and lower 90s. Not like
Oh,
Because there's been
nice.
years when it was over 100 degrees and fucking
like it seems like we're gonna have a very
the
Yeah,
mild
honestly, it
beginning
summer.
of
took long.
fucking April.
Damn.
In fact, that was my me and a guy I worked with at Verizon were well, he had actually lived up there previously, but that's why me and him were like, dude, let's fucking move to Flagstaff. This fucking sucks. It's fucking April and it's over 100 degrees, and we ended up moving up there for a couple of years. That was why we were both fucking tired of it.
Damn.
Yeah, because like I said, he had been lived there. I was originally from upstate New York, so it was going to be just a matter of time before both of us were tired of the desert wasteland or whatever.
Ah, okay. It's not too bad. Could be worse. Could be worse.
Yeah. The nice thing is it's not that far away, like from Phoenix or even from the town I'm in. It's about a 2.5 hour, maybe 3 hour drive to get up to 7,000 feet and fucking 30 degrees cooler.
Nice.
Yeah, it's definitely nice this time of year.
That would be awesome. Be able to just drive a little ways, and I suppose I have the same thing because even when it's super hot here, um,
Yeah,
you
you're
just
right by
drive
the
out to the
mountains there, yeah.
coast. Yeah, you just drive to the coast, and it's like
Yeah.
even if it's warm at the coast, it's never hot. You know what I mean? Like it's never more than
Yeah.
like 75. You know? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, and the breeze coming in. Oh
oh yeah, the coastal
yeah.
wind. Yeah. Oh yeah, the coastal breeze. Yeah, it's nice. It's very nice actually out there. And it's like a
Yeah,
45
it is
minute
crazy
drive
how
to an
much it
hour
drops
drive. It's not bad.
because it's like maybe a quarter of a mile. Like you go a quarter of a mile away and like it's fucking 5 degrees hotter. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
as being on the beach to just not that far inland, the temperature drops up, fucking jumps up quite a bit, man. I get it makes sense. All that water affecting
Oh yeah.
things.
Yeah. Close the temp. Mm.
What's happening in the world?
Well, I'm starting to wonder
Uh,
if like black women should fill any roles of authority. And it's
yeah,
not
yeah,
and it's not like a racist thing. It's just like as of late, every single woman who has been voted into like power like a
abuses the
mayor,
hell
a
out of it.
judges, lawyers, like
Or it's
cops. It
just a
seems like
dog.
it's just like a constant barrage of all of them just being terribly incompetent.
Yeah. But yeah, that
And
did.
then committing crimes too, which is mind-boggling.
Right, right. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. In a way, it's kind of nice because I feel like when there was real racism still, like any black people in positions of authorities kind of had to be on their best behavior. And now they don't anymore. And I feel like that's kind of like equality that they don't have to be on. You know what I mean? Like they can get they can be just as corrupt. They don't worry
Yeah.
about shit like that anymore. I'm not explaining the point I'm trying to make very well. Um, but again, like in the '60s, you know what I mean? Like you better not be doing anything wrong because they're gonna find any way to fucking try to bust you because they're racist or whatever.
Oh
But
yeah.
now they seem to have no problem with that. They have no fear of having to let their black brethren down by committing, you know, egregious examples of corruption and such.
Oh wow.
So now they're just like the white people
Yeah.
that are also very corrupt.
Yeah, well, the one that gets me about this latest one, this judge is like, she had no courtroom experience. Like, she hadn't even got experience as an attorney in a courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, well, if you can't even, like, get through, like, a court case, like, what's the fucking point?
Yeah,
Like,
you have no idea. Yeah, you have no idea how to run a courtroom or how the law fucking works. As a judge, yeah, that's fucking nuts, dude.
yeah, it was
Yeah, that's the one
mind-boggling.
that like that's the one that like pretended to faint, right? And they had to carry her out.
Yeah, just recently, yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
was the one she
Yeah,
pretended to faint, so they had to carry her out. And it was just
like look at
like,
that picture. She looks crazy. Like the picture on the left in the thumbnail, she looks fucking
oh,
insane.
she's hyper religious. She was like, God will provide and all this shit. They had prayer circles to get her so that she could,
Mm-hmm.
like the prayer circles were supposed to have her be innocent. Um, like they're gonna affect the fucking training or something. It just didn't make any sense. It was just one of those things where you're like,
Pray for me
how
because
do
I
you
have no
think
idea
that's
what I'm
gonna?
doing.
Yeah, how is that gonna help you? Like, not
I
like you
really
committed
hope there's a
crimes.
God
Like
and
it
he can
doesn't
help me.
matter anymore. Like it's too fucking late.
Yeah, yeah, that's fucking nuts, dude. Good. That's got to be like just the worst picture of her, right? She
Oh
always
yeah.
look like that.
I also like that she
Uh,
decided to like a small child.
Throw a
Um,
tantrum and pass out,
yeah, go
or
and like
pretend to pass
pretend
out.
to pass out. Yeah.
Oh my god, that was quite a while ago, though, right? What is that? Is there like an update on that, or was that just one from a while ago? I didn't watch the actual video because I was familiar
This
with
was an
the.
update. So like we'd been following this story.
Oh,
I
okay.
think we saw her originally. We saw when they first removed her from the bench because they were like, yeah, she got removed from the bench and she's up on trial because she did all this crazy shit. She was changing documents, questioning the witnesses herself, and then overruling the inevitable objections of the fucking lawyers because they're like, bitch, what are you doing? That's not your fucking job. Not only is that not your job, you're not allowed to do that. Like, you're not
Mm-hmm.
allowed to fucking question the
What the
witnesses. That's not your fucking
dude?
prerogative. You're a judge. Like,
That's that's a pretty basic one. I am. I've never looked into how the courtroom or any of that really
a
operates in that
judge
way,
can
and I
ask
knew
for
that.
clarification on answers, I think, and they can instruct a witness to answer if a witness is refusing to answer, claiming some sort of nonsense like, oh, it's confidential, blah blah blah, or whatever. The judge can say, no, that's not how that works, or I
Right.
don't care if it's
It's
confidential. You've been
literally,
instructed to answer because of this, that, and whatever. Like they've already provided all the paperwork to say that it doesn't matter if it's confidential, you still have to answer. So the judge can, like, hey, you have to answer this question or you're going to go into contempt, that kind of thing. But yeah, they're not allowed to be like, wait, where were you on that night? No, motherfucker, tell me where you was. You can't get involved in that, I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me double check. No, I'm sure that's
I've never seen it anywhere else. What you're describing before, yeah.
A witness in.
There's got to be severe limitations on it. There's got to be severe limitations.
Like there can't. Oh yes, so the judge can question witness during the trial. Have the authority to do so to clarify confusing testimony, ensure all relevant facts are examined, and ensure the court understands the witness. So it's not like they can't just start getting into the.
They can only what you're describing.
Questioning to what I was saying before, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like what she was doing was literally taking on, I don't know which side, probably the defense, if I'm guessing. But you know what I mean? Yeah.
They can't be like, hey, nobody thought about this guy killing people by doing this. What about, like, it's like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be like, yeah, that answer doesn't exactly make sense. Can you clarify? Like, yeah, that kind of shit makes sense. But yeah, to just start being like, I'm going to interrogate you from the judge's bench. Holy fuck, dude.
Yeah,
that's pretty
crazy. Insane.
Yeah, to actually fucking like go, that's fucking crazy, dude. How long did she last? Do you remember?
This judge? I think she got away with it for like a year or two. Like, there's probably a whole bunch of cases. She was like in a family court, so it's not a criminal court at least. Like, people aren't. I don't think people are in prison because of it. But they're gonna have to go through all those cases and be like, hey, what the fuck were you doing? Like, so I don't know. Yeah, that whole thing is just fucking bizarre.
Yeah, just being unbelievably inappropriate as the fucking judge.
Exactly, unbelievably inappropriate. It's just criminally because she was changing documents. She would post date documents, so they like change the dates on things so that they were no longer like in like they were suddenly like in the right date or something. And it was one of those things where you're like, you can't just change that shit. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's fucking wow. Yeah, I was thinking about it because there's again pretty strict rules on all that kind of shit. I remember I was watching the what trial was it? I was watching, but whatever. I forget what trial it was. But anyways, the defense lawyer was like cross-examining like one of the cops or whatever in the case. And the cop, he had asked him like that. I forget what he had asked him, but then he asked him again. He's like, never? And then the cop was like, taking a second to think about it. Ends up being like 4 or 5 seconds. And the defense lawyer looks directly at the jury and says, you'll never see anyone taking this long to answer a kind of question like that. And fucking, that's a no-no, from what I understand. You don't address the jury directly like that to a witness, while a witness is on the stand.
No,
because the other lawyers freak the fuck out.
That works. No.
Yeah, I mean, you can address them when you're doing your opening and closing statements, obviously, or arguments or whatever.
Yeah.
But when you're fucking cross-examining or even just asking questions, you don't fucking address the jury directly. Like, yeah, dude, because the other fucking...
I think there's very specific times when you're allowed to address the jury, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, he literally, because the guy who was taking long to answer, he's trying to make it seem like he's doing something wrong, because he's really taking time to think about it, if whatever it was ever may have happened at some point.
Sometimes you gotta sit and think about something, Oh, also, hey, what's up, Samaj?
Ahoy, y'all.
Welcome. But yeah, dude, it was immediate, dude. Like, as soon as he said it, the fucking prosecutions were objecting like crazy, and obviously the judge sustained the objection.
Yeah, especially if, like, think about, like whatever, like, a lot of these lawsuits, or not lawsuits, but a lot of these criminal trials, for instance, they can be going on, up to a year later. So, 6 months, a year, like they can be after quite a while. If you're like a witness, you're not like
Yeah.
involved in the crime or anything. You might have to think a minute to remember exactly what happened, 6 months ago on some fucking random day. And
Yeah.
you didn't see like an actual crime. Maybe you just saw the guy running out of a fucking bank or something. Like you didn't see anything else. You're like, oh yeah, when he was running out of the
Yeah.
bank, he was wearing red shoes. Like you might take a minute to remember that.
Yeah, yeah, and this lawyer guy he was just so fucking scummy and other shit too. Because he would like ask him, and the guy would be like, "Well, I don't call that exactly," and he would act like it was a huge
Oh, like a huge
single
A
detail,
thing.
everything from 5 years ago. Like the shit had happened 5 years previous,
Yeah.
and like even re-examining the notes, there's gonna be some shit like I don't remember that particular statement, or that kind of shit.
Yeah,
That's not really an
absolutely.
unacceptable answer. You know what I mean? But yeah, he was just scummy as hell. Dude, it was funny because he kept putting on his glasses and taking them off like constantly. And I was like, all right, I don't think I think that's some weird dramatic effect he's going for, and it looks fucking weird. Yeah, it was pretty fun. Oh, it was a case where there was like some chick. She worked at like the coroner's office, and she ended up cheating on her husband with the coroner, and then ended up killing the fucking the husband. The wife, the chick that worked at the coroner's office that was cheating, ended up like killing her husband.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a weird case. I don't remember the names or anything, and I was unfamiliar with the case even before that. But yeah, apparently I forgot to go back because I wanted to look at it because they were talking about it as as they were going through the trial or whatever from yesterday. But apparently the day before, the bitch that's charged was making all kinds of crazy fucking expressions and shit from her fucking where she was at. Not even on the stand, just fucking making weird fucking outlandish and fucking overly exaggerated expressions and shit. I wanted to go back and watch it because I'm like, I have to see what the fuck you guys are talking about. Um, then I got distracted and forgot about it,
Sounds like
which happens
she's
often.
looking for. Sounds like she was looking for an excuse to play crazy and say, I'm insane. Don't lock me up for
Yeah.
years."
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, she's from like a pretty wealthy family, so it's a lot of shit that's going into. Yeah, I don't know. It's yeah. One, it never makes sense to me to kill your fucking spouse as bad
I
as you might
mean,
want to. I
legitimately,
can
like
understand why.
divorce is
Don't get
so
me
much.
wrong.
Like I can understand why you want to.
Yeah, but to actually do it, and it was again. It sounds like it's just because they didn't want to get caught. Oh fuck, that's right. I forgot. This bitch was locking up her kids in their room, and fucking taking off to fuck this guy or whatever for fucking like long stretches of time. So it's like three kids locked in one room. There's no doorknob on the inside. They cannot get out of the fucking room to go to the bathroom or anything. Like they ended up having to fucking find shit to like piss in when they had to piss. Yeah, she's a pretty real nice piece of work.
Damn.
Yeah, yeah. I fucking forgot the name though, but whatever. I'll find it. But whatever. What else is happening?
Apparently, at the ripe old age of 98, Mel Brooks has said that he's going to return to play Joker in Spaceballs 2.
No
Oh
fucking
wow.
way, dude. Not
I'll
only they're
believe
actually making it Spaceballs too.
I'll believe
Oh
it when I see
no,
it.
that's my thought right
Yeah, and
there.
again, I wouldn't be as apprehensive as I would have been probably any time in the last 10 years. But I don't know that we're quite out of the woods as far as fucking up anything that's being remade or sequels. So I'm a little nervous.
I was
Well,
surprised to see the remake of what is it? The one with the little fucking blue alien. Family.
Oh,
They're a
Lilo and
family.
Stitch.
Lilo and Stitch. The remake of Lilo and Stitch wasn't terrible. It wasn't like the best. There was a few things they changed, which was dumb, but like nothing was like ridiculous or like over the top or super racist or anything like that. It was like
Mm.
just kind of
Yeah, it sounds like they
uh,
did a fairly decent job. No, yeah, that's what
I'm
I'm
a,
saying.
I'm of the opinion that if you end it with Lilo going with Child Protective Services just so her older sister can go to college, I think that's a very drastic change. that kind of
Oh,
ruins the
she
whole message
didn't
of the
go with
movie.
protective services.
She went
So
with the neighbor.
she goes to the neighbor, and I thought that was
Yeah,
weird. Like that was kind of an unnecessary change, and probably kind of went against the whole thing. But as far as like the racial DEI stuff, that wasn't really a thing. I think it was just kind of like a some director was like, wouldn't it make more sense for the sister to get to go to school and have like her like storyline fixed? And it's like, no, Lilo's the main character. That's the only one that's supposed to matter in the story. But as far as like changes go, that's not as bad as it could have been.
I, well, my opinion is that's the worst change that you could possibly make. That goes against the entire message of the entire original movie, the whole point of the whole thing. And it's like they didn't like the original movie and they had to say fuck it. Family doesn't mean a damn shit. Doesn't mean a damn thing.
Yeah, I thought
And
it was like an interesting way of going around like actual legal issues, but like yeah, that does now that I think about it, that does kind of go against the entire point of the entire first part of the movie.
yeah. Well, I'm trying to be calm about it because I love Lilo and Stitch. I think it's an amazing movie. And
Because the whole first part of the movie, maybe I'm just not a big of a fan because I wasn't looking at it from the perspective of a fan. I was looking at it from somebody like, oh yeah, that cartoon was all right.
Yeah, and fair enough.
You're right.
I mean,
it makes sense. It makes sense that you would be upset because yeah, the whole first part of the movie, they're talking about how family is important, and you always stay with family. And then
family.
They do take her to the neighbors. Yeah, that is weird. Fuck.
Yeah. Ohana means family, and family means no one gets left behind. And what's this? She's going to live with a neighbor just so her older sister can go to college. No, that's
which
then the
doesn't
other thing
make a lot of sense though. Like, there's no reason she would have to go and not live with her sister for her sister to go to college.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Surely there's like a junior college or a college nearby that the sister could attend. The neighbor could help with babysitting. They wouldn't have to necessarily take her as like a legally adopt her thing.
I think if they just said, I think you're right. I think your idea is way better. If they said that she would just go to just commune back and forth to college, get student loan or something, so she can pay stuff off or whatever else, and Leo can be babysat by the neighbor. That makes a million times more sense than what they did. She
marries the guy that's super into her, and he goes and gets a job so she can go to college.
See, there you go. They did. There are many options that they could have gone with, and they went with the worst.
And then the family is just bigger than that lady next door is part of the family too. Like, that actually makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, well, at the end of the first movie, like Nala or whatever her name is, ends up with gets the boyfriend, the guy there, and they just have a happy family and everything. They just try to make it work, and I think that was a way better, much more beautiful ending, and I really enjoyed that. But that's not what they did. Not to mention, then the boyfriend or the guy, potential boyfriend, is an absolute idiot, loser, borderline like immature child throughout the whole movie, and I thought that wasn't him. I mean, yeah, he was young and all that in the original movie, but he was a lot more confident.
Oh, maybe I don't remember the cartoon as well as I thought. My bad.
No, it's not. Well, yeah, maybe it's been a while since I've seen it, probably. But yeah, he's a bit of a hembo, if you will, sure. But he wasn't that. He wasn't really incompetent. He was just maybe a little, a little slow with conversations. But he was a hard-working kind of guy, and he really made things work. So, like, he was a fairly good character.
He was slow on the uptake in the original, but he wasn't retarded, essentially.
Yeah. Like in the live action, he's the equivalent of Homer Simpson, and I'm like, I saw the movie. Why is he so stupid? And then of course they changed they got like actors and stuff to play the alien guy who was supposed to have like a, I don't know, fake European accent, Jumba, and then they turned him into the villain. And I love Jumba. Jumba's amazing. Why is he so stupid?
I must. I have to go back and watch the cartoon again because I must have completely forgot the cartoon.
Yeah, they made it look enough, and they got a fair bit of the story beats, but everything else was just
visually it was very good. Actually, I think that was compared to the cartoon. Like, as far as remakes go, they didn't turn anybody into a terrible, like, disturbing monster.
I think that they made a bunch of changes they didn't have to.
Oh, yeah, unnecessary. Anyway. But, yeah, like, the one part I thought was kind of dumb was the guy that keeps dropping his ice cream in the cartoon is always like a big fat white dude, and they made him a big fat Polynesian guy.
Well, in
And I
the
was like,
original,
maybe they just that's who showed up for the fucking role. You know what I mean? Like maybe they just didn't have another big fat white guy that was there at the time.
which you would think that wouldn't be a problem because there's lots of them. But
I
yeah,
mean,
in the
whoever, depends
original,
on if they even show up to the casting. That's the thing, you know. It's a small
well,
role.
exactly. I mean, in the original, they cut it out because they felt that it would make it a little too dark. But in the original movie, Lilo has a hobby of taking pictures of fat people. Predominantly fat white people, predominantly because they're the tourists who always show up in there. You know, it's supposed to be a little social commentary about
Which makes perfect sense. Like, yeah, why wouldn't a kid be like, all these fucking weird fat white people are always here. I want to get documentation
Yeah, exactly.
of this shit.
Yeah. And then there was like other bits that were edited out where like there'd be like a car full of tourists and all that saying, "Hey kid, where's so and so?" And she would put on like a fake accent and just point someplace.
Yeah.
And they go, it was supposed to be something like that. They thought, nah, it's a little, you know, the movie's got its own story. We don't need to add subplots of like politics and all that. They felt it was unnecessary, and I agree because it's a movie about family and aliens and stuff like that.
You know what they needed to add in if they didn't is Vin Diesel. They need the original family. You know.
See, the social worker, yeah, the social worker in the original movie, I love that guy. He gets called in for very special cases. His name was Cobra Bubbles, and big burly black guy, deep voice, got like the tattoo of the word Cobra on his knuckles, and like I love that guy. That guy's awesome. He's in the movie, of course. He plays like a CIA agent, played by some, I don't know, skinnier, scrawnier black dude.
Yeah,
like,
they have him be a CIA agent who goes undercover as a special what do you call it? Social worker.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, he's like the social worker they call in just to like when things are going weird. So
yeah,
it's sort of similar to, but not the same as, like the original character.
Yeah. With that said, though, okay, I will give him credit for trying to do something and try to make it as coherent as possible. And Lilo and Stitch were definitely the best parts. Everything else, I have issues with.
Fair enough.
But then again, but that's just me. I'm the wet blanket. It's like it's not exactly like the original.
No, actually, no. When the way you explain the difference between like the basic end of the story, like the conclusion, the climax, that actually does make no sense. I didn't even think about that. It didn't occur to me. Because I was like, in the context of the movie, like, well, you know what, in real life, a social worker would definitely intervene to a certain extent in the situation they're in right there. Like, there's too many problems, like the house blew up and shit. You know, you can't leave a kid there. But, yeah, originally in the cartoon, obviously it doesn't matter because it's, you know, it's a cartoon.
Yeah. But I also know, like, Disney is trying to tighten its purse strings when it comes to movies. Because usually for a movie like this, it'd be like $300 million to film it and everything. But this time around, it only has $100 million. And they managed to make it work as best as they can. So, I mean, I'll give them some credit there. It's like, good for them let's be honest, Disney needs to tighten their purse strings. They are hemorrhaging money.
Oh, yeah, no, these companies are because they're making things that nobody wants, like, so it's kind of their own fault.
Well, and not just that, but from what I've heard from people inside Disney and all that, from different YouTubers and whatnot, Disney Plus is dead. They're going to get rid of it. They're
all
right now.
Streaming services are fucking hot garbage. Like, I don't know. I imagine all of them are hemorrhaging money except for maybe like Netflix.
The only movie studio that's coming out on top in the streaming wars is Sony, and the only reason I say that is because they didn't go into the streaming wars.
Oh,
Oddly enough,
they didn't make a streaming channel, so they're winning. They're like the only
exactly.
company that's winning. I would imagine Netflix is probably doing okay, like because they were already pretty well established first. Maybe I'm wrong, but like I'm sure they're not making like gangbusters, but they're probably not losing nearly as much money as the rest of them.
It's hard to say with streaming services because they don't publish the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they can pretty much say whatever they want, and
that's just my guess. Like if you have an established company that has been making money for a while, you know, a lot of times they'll do all right for a long time. It's rare that they go out of business super quick. But
yeah,
who knows, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these are not going as well. So they've kind of been chasing off their audiences with all the various different DEI stuff. And you wouldn't think big companies like Amazon and Netflix would be doing that because they make so much money. But pretty much what I think part of the problem is like when you're a company and you have to have steady growth, at some point you're going to reach the limit to how many people can subscribe to your platform. Because that's pretty much it. So how do you grow at that point? Because no one else is coming in. Can't reach another market. Expand to different territories. You're as far as you can go. So, as far as I can tell, the best way that they can try and make growth is one, they have to increase the price of their subscriptions, which is why it keeps going up. The other thing is you start taking in sponsorship money. And unfortunately, the only place that gives you the biggest sponsorship are people like BlackRock and Vanguard, and they're the ones who always push politics and stuff. And they'll give you the big fat checks, and that's how that's part of the reason why they get in there.
Damn.
So, and I didn't know that's how it worked, but pretty much, I mean, yeah, if you have a business and you have shareholders, and they're like, yeah, well, you know, what are you going to do about growth? Yeah, what are you going to do? Apparently, there is a limit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the other problem is that you have like ridiculous amounts of streaming services. How are you gonna get them all when so many people are competing to get your money? And it's like
and
not
they're
everyone
all like
can get...
$15. Like the expectation they have of how much people should be paying is pretty fucking high.
Yep. Yeah. And therefore we have people going to pirating now because it's just cheaper, faster. Not to mention, oddly enough, the quality on piracy sites is a million times better than what's on the official one. Because they, like Netflix, they didn't put the money into their IT department or whatever, so then like quality drops as you go down. So you can watch something on Netflix and it could be potentially pixelated, or the quality of the image isn't great, or you can go on the pirating and it's way better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not really a good sell to say,
I pirate most of the stuff I watch, honestly. Just because, like, there's the services are terrible, and the cost is unreasonable.
And by that he means Minecraft piracy. By that, you make your own pirate ship in Minecraft.
Yeah. R matey.
R. So, yeah, that's about right.
It's just easier. Like I can go to a website that's run better and better designed, and is more reliable than any of these other places. It's like, I mean, like if you're gonna charge, you have to make it more convenient than the people that are gonna put it up for free.
Yeah.
Because if all I have to do is spend like $10 a month on a fucking what do you call it? A fucking VPN, so I don't have to worry about like getting a letter, and just go to a random website on the internet that's going to give me all this stuff, same stuff, however I want it. Well, better designed and more reliable than the actual legal sites. Like, why would I want to pay?
Yeah. Well, and the only other streaming service that's actually doing better, it's hard to call them streaming, but it's actually YouTube.
Oh
on
yeah, yeah, yeah.
YouTube.
They are technically a streaming service. You know, they do live streams and all that other stuff, and they stream like movies and stuff. Because you can watch, you know, you can go pay to watch movies and stuff all over the place, or even just watch them with ads a lot of times. So yeah,
Yep, and that ad revenue does work. So there you go.
yeah. Twitch is fucking bonkers though.
I
They're
don't.
slowly shooting themselves in the foot by not like getting rid of the politics stuff. I every time I see more stuff about that, it's like, why would you not eliminate all the politics and just get back all that advertising money? Like, surely you like money, right?
Well, it's not so much the politics as it's like the various different people making the commentary about politics. One example is like, because they did make a politics section on Twitch, which means that you don't get any money for that. You want to talk politics, you go on there, you don't make a cent, because advertisers do not want to advertise onto there. So,
But advertisers
yeah,
have literally pulled out of Twitch, like, surely because of the politics already, though. You know what I mean? Even though they're not being advertised on the politics, it's like you have these big, like, Hassan is like the most recent one that's the problem, but like,
yeah,
there
I
have been
think
other
that's.
people before him, and there will be other people after him. He's not, you know, that big of a deal.
See, I don't think politics is particularly the problem. It's just what people are saying that is the problem. Like I think you're right. Hassan is probably the worst. I mean, look at the riots going on in L.A. and Hassan's out there live streaming. You got people coming up there, shake his head. It's like, I'm here because of you, man. It's like, that's fucked up. That
Yeah.
guy. Oh my! It really shows that he's radicalizing his viewers, which is like not good. Get this guy off the platform. It's a.
Well, they've definitely lost advertising revenue because of Hassan. There's no question on that.
Well, and I think
Just
it's
because
getting
there's
worse.
a lot of places that are like, oh, you have terrorists on your platform? Yeah, we really don't want to be part of that. Thank you. We're going to pass.
Yeah, and there's plenty of. Well, from what I've heard, there's plenty of higher ups in Twitch that pretty much agree with Hassan and everything he says. And I'm like, why? And that's pretty much
I'm
the only
just
real.
amazed that Bezos hasn't replaced them. Like, dude, you run a successful company. Like, why are you not eliminating this problem in your company? Like, why has he not replaced those people? Like,
I think
you
he's.
can think whatever you want politically, but like, make money. Like, that's the point of having a business.
If I had to guess, my assumption is he's waiting for or Amazon in general and Twitch. They're gonna wait for people to migrate over to a different platform like Kick, because they still have like their servers still operate Kick. So it's like if you go there, that's gonna be like the Twitch replacement. And then if Twitch dies, then we can kill it, but we still have Kick, which means you still have the streaming server or the live streaming.
So they're gonna like they're just like let Twitch die and just go.
Yeah, so they want to see how people migrate, and if people aren't migrating, then they'll be like, okay, well you're not migrating, so we might as well deal with it then, because they're just waiting they're waiting to see how people migrate, and then once that gets done, then they'll know whether or not they're going to keep it.
Interesting. Yeah,
I was thinking it might be. I was thinking they might need the write-off. They're like, look, we're making too much money with Amazon directly. We need to.
Oh, like it's a tax, like a tax thing. Could be. We're losing money on this business, so we can't pay this amount of taxes. It makes sense.
That could be it too. Yeah.
Because it really doesn't make sense that you have somebody on your trust and safety team that was literally fired from their previous position specifically for being anti-Semitic.
Yeah, and wasn't their previous position like trust and safety too, or something like somewhere else?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, they were up. I don't remember specifics, but they were fired specifically for being anti-Semitic, dude. And considering how people like Hassan and all that are viewed, it seems like a very odd choice.
How like you see all of these people on the left are like so incredibly racist and getting fired for being racist in some cases, but you almost never hear anything like that from like the extreme people on the right. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they also generally hate Jews, but it's not for the right reasons.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying they're better. I'm just saying like you almost never see them getting fired. Because
right.
I think the ability to be pragmatic and be like, yeah, this is what I think, but I like making money. it
Yeah,
gets in
I'm
the
just
way.
gonna
You know what I
not
mean?
really
It's like,
mess with that.
yeah, I don't like Jews, but this, if I don't like Jews and do it publicly, I'm not going to make as much money. Like
Yeah, the hatred doesn't seem to be as deep
they're more
to override
intelligent. They're
the.
more capable of being
Yeah.
like, this will not get me what I want, and what I want is lots of money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Where people like Hassan, their hatred of Jews is so deep, they
Oh
just
yeah,
can't help themselves but to express it.
oh yeah.
Well,
Apparently
I think they
Venezuelans
feel.
really hate Jews, but yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
like I said, they deny it, but I'm like, how can you? Who buys this denials at this point? Like, it's so fucking obvious
I think
that
a
you
lot.
fucking.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I was
Go ahead.
just gonna say, I think people feel emboldened because of the state of everything right now, and they feel now's the time that they can say whatever they want, say how they truly feel about things. So, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the Jew hatred is definitely quite acceptable at the time
Yeah, it's
and
really
currently.
interesting how suddenly it's like okay to hate Jewish people. Like, because for the longest time, that was a really big no no. Like, you just did not talk against Jewish people. I remember Mel Gibson. Like, he fucking, his career ended because he went on an anti Jewish rant. Now he would fit right in with the left. They would be like,
Yeah, he's
preach,
making a
my brother,
comeback.
preach. You know exactly of what you speak. Curse the Jew. That'd be like their whole fucking
Yeah.
thing.
yeah.
Fuck. I never followed up on the shooter that killed two people outside the Israeli embassy. I had heard that he was actually a Hassan subscriber or supporter or whatever. I didn't
Yeah.
really ever follow up on it though, so I don't know if it's 100% true, but I think it is.
Hassan actively works to radicalize people intentionally.
Mm. Oh
Like,
yeah, it's pretty
very clearly
obvious.
intentional. And this
Yeah.
guy got
Oh, no
radicalized and ended
disavow.
up murdering a bunch of people. Yeah, I think
Mm.
that's pretty relevant if he's a Hassan Spiker fan, and I think they said, yeah, he
Yeah.
definitely is. And
Yeah, that's weird because again, Hassan accuses everybody of doing whistle shit. But then he comes out and he's like, "Look, I'm not saying this is a false flag. It definitely wasn't. But if it was, this would be perfect." And you're like, "All right, so you're saying it's a false flag, but you're saying the shit, wink,
yeah, no,
wink.
this is
It's
this is more
definitely not."
likely somebody got radicalized because of him, and now they went off and did a horrible crime, and he wants to make sure
Yeah,
that people don't have any good excuse to be, hey,
yeah,
aren't you partially responsible for this? Like, not legally
yeah,
responsible, but morally speaking, he's absolutely
yeah,
partially responsible.
yeah. His type of rhetoric is definitely contributing,
Yeah.
even if it's not, whether it's directly
It
or
may not
not.
have been a direct catalyst, but it was certainly a motivating factor. If that makes
Yeah, and
sense.
then for him to say after the dude shoots and kills two people that he was genuine in fucking actions.
Well,
Like, why the fuck would you say
you
that?
can't radicalize people if you don't compliment them when they do commit the crime.
Right, right. So yeah, if anyone else is watching out there, he was genuine in his action. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like to the rest of this fucking audience. Yeah, it's pretty fucking gross, dude.
Well, and that's why it blows my mind because like that's why advertisers are pulling out because they're like, we don't want our products associated with the platform that's on, which is reasonable. Like,
Yeah,
I wouldn't want, like, if I was running like Disney and I'm like putting up Disneyland commercials, the last thing I want is people to be going around on a platform after watching a Disney commercial and hear that shit. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be like, oh,
yeah,
wow, this is a platform Disney's on. Like, holy shit.
yeah,
Luckily, we're not on Twitch
yeah.
though, because like we could get banned for what we just said because we're speaking out against the
Oh
glorious
yeah,
Hassan Piker.
yeah. Well, you think about all the shit that, not only fucking orbiters like Denims and Frogan have said, and then Tectone gets a fucking suspension. I think it was originally like 2 weeks just for calling Frogan fat. And here's the thing: they will call people fat if they disagree with them.
Oh, they
They were
they
like
go
they'll
they
say
go
shit about.
hard. They go fucking hard.
Yeah. So I'm like, how is it okay for them to do this shit? They're literally the exact same shit,
Yeah.
making fun of the mutable characteristics or whatever, or calling people fat. Like, oh, okay, you get really mad when it happens to Frogan, But
And
you
to
have
be
no
clear,
problem doing it
we
to somebody
definitely
that
approve
disagrees
of
with you.
calling people fat. I like we are fat
Yeah, I
guys,
definitely have.
and
I
I
have
think it's
no
fucking
problem with that
hilarious. I
whatsoever.
don't care. But
Yeah.
yeah, like
But that's supposed to be your terms of service
and
at Twitch, and it's not being equally enforced. Quite obviously not.
I'm kind of surprised. So I don't know exactly what the laws are and how the uh, uh, system would how difficult it would be. But since they have a terms of service and people are using that, that is effectively a contract on both sides.
Hmm.
So what you're saying is you guys have to abide by this set of terms in order to work on our platform and make money through our advertising and stuff like that. And they don't enforce it equally at all, and this has resulted in large losses of advertising revenue for all of the people that work on the platform that are not political streamers. But what baffles me is
Yeah.
why has there not been a lawsuit? Why have the people that are all streaming that are just like, playing video games or VTubing or whatever, like live streaming, like doing the real life streaming or whatever. Why have these people not gotten together and filed a lawsuit as a group against um, Twitch and Amazon, since Amazon owns them, to say like,
Right.
hey,
Yeah, it could be.
they're in breach of contract. These are the rules that are stated on the platform. This is how we have to behave in order to make money. They're banning people without regard for the rules, and then they're not banning people who are clearly breaking the rules many, many times over. And as a direct
Yeah, the same
result of
rule.
this behavior, this breach of contract, they have lost advertising revenue, which in turn has lost us X amount of money.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if like Tectone and like Asmongold.
Yeah, because it just take one or
Asmongold
two
quite
of the big
clearly
ones, and
does
then they
not.
could get a bunch of the little ones on their like lawsuit together. It could be big money going after Amazon. So I'm just
Yeah,
surprised no
Asmongold quite
enterprising attorney
clearly
has
would
done it.
rather not. Asmongold is pretty clearly fucking hates Twitch and does not want to fucking continue to be there. Like
Yeah.
it's pretty obvious. I don't even follow him that closely, and it's
No, I don't really care much for Asmund. I don't hate him, but like, he's kind of dumb.
yeah.
I
Oh,
like
he's really good.
he'll occasionally get things right and occasionally get
Oops.
things wrong, but a lot of the times he's just retarded. And just like
Yeah.
I
God,
think
yeah,
I
Well, he
think
does
that's
the
why.
same thing. He does a lot of the same shit that Hassan does, where he takes what his fucking chat is saying and bases his opinions off of that without bothering to vet it at all or see if it's
yeah,
any
yeah.
truth
He's
to
not
it.
checking into it himself. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because he does occasionally have some good points, but it's mostly just fucking him saying matter of fact shit like it's a profound fucking revelation.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
always
it's
fucking
weird.
entertaining.
Yeah, but anyways, he's been like pretty openly talking shit about fucking Twitch, dude. It's kind of funny because he's got to be making a ton of money through them. That's still got to be his main fucking source of income.
Well, okay. So Tectone, I don't know. You know who Tectone is, right?
Yeah, a little bit,
So
barely,
he
but
did a
yeah.
podcast with a group of like Donut and Herrera and a couple other guys from that sort of gun manosphere kind of thing, where they're like
Oh,
guns and
right,
police
right.
and stuff like that. And Tectone was on there, and he was talking literally about the money he makes. Twitch is barely paying him anything. Like a few $100s a month, like for like he might make $800 to $900 a month on advertising from Twitch. The
Right.
vast majority of the money he makes, and he's a millionaire, is from sponsorships.
Mm-hmm.
Is people that are
Oh,
paying
gotcha.
to like have their product on his streams to him directly, and he has to give Twitch like a percentage of that, but at the same time, like he's getting a much bigger share of that advertising, and that's where his money is being made. So, it's from like
Gotcha.
Gamer
Okay.
Sups and fucking Raid Shadow Legends and whatever services like paying him. So yeah, no, they're not making a ton on advertising, but they used to make a very decent amount on advertising. Like you used to be able to make a pretty decent living just being a small channel on Twitch and getting the ad revenue. Is what he was saying. So like, yeah, and that's just one point of view, and it's his words, not mine. I don't know the accuracy.
Right.
I don't know if he's telling the truth or not. I just, that's what he said.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think ads have been going significantly bigger than he is on Twitch, right? Most likely.
I have no idea.
Maybe
I don't
not.
watch either of them. I don't care for
Right.
I only watched the thing with Tectone because they were talking about Hassan, and I was like, holy shit! Like they're gonna talk about Hassan and like this group of people. What a weird section of YouTube to even care. Like why are they even involved? That's such a strange thing.
Right. Yeah, it's all fucking weird. Whatever the fuck's going on with all these people.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. It's pretty inexplicable. Like I said, I don't understand why Twitch operates the way they do.
No, not at all. It's very strange. But
I mean, who knows how long they'll still be around?
Yeah. It's not a platform for me anyway. It's really a platform for like kids, which is the part that makes Hassan being on there kind of really disturbing.
There's a lot of things that really.
I mean, he's about 9 or 10 years old mentally. He really is a fucking child.
Well, and I don't even know so much if it's that or if he's putting on an act because he's audience. I think part of the problem with a lot of these streamers is that they know their audience and they behave accordingly. It's like, customer's always right. If your customers are a bunch of, simple-minded simpletons, then there you go. And now I'm not sure if that is, but I'm guessing so.
They're a hateful bunch, that's for sure.
It's hard for me to say because I think a lot of people who go onto Twitch and a lot of people who go onto these various different websites are often people who have been, I don't want to say radicalized or so much they're listening to a bunch of propaganda or whatever online. I just think
there's so
just
many propagandists online right now, though. Like on every side of the fence, like not even just like right and left, but like there's like weird vegetarian, like vegan fucking propagandists and fucking like there's all sorts of weird fucking cult-like motherfuckers out there at this point.
Remember Vegan Teacher, the one that was talking about barbecue on dicks or something? For pedophiles.
Yeah. That was fucking
I forget exactly what she said, but dude, what the fuck? That bitch is crazy.
Check her hard drive.
Some people have been.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. Oh fuck, that one was crazy because like she says it so matter of factly. Like this was a long time ago. Yeah, like you do not see what she's about to say coming.
No,
and then
that's true.
Oh, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck is wrong with this bitch? Yeah, sorry, a little bit of a tangent there, but I was reminded of that.
What was it? Vitaly has found God, by the way. he's aiming with the like, it was just a prank, bro, and I found Jesus. This is like attempt for defense in the Philippines, and
wow.
they're looking at adding new charges now.
Nice.
So one of the charges he took on stream, like you can watch the video of it, he took a security guard or a policeman's moped and drove it down the street. Which
he pushed it, right? He didn't actually start it or something weird like that?
I don't remember if he started it or pushed it or whatever, but all I know is he moved it down the street. And that may end up counting as theft of auto, which is a minimum of 20 years in prison if he gets put in there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, they're definitely looking to...
He's looking at a couple of years with the other stuff, but like that one might actually be what do you call it? Like a fucking 20-year
most
sentence
serious
minimum.
one.
Like bare minimum, you have 20 years if they decide to call that theft. And he's in a fucking little like they don't give a shit about you in that Like the court case is like a fucking dog and pony show. Like there's no fucking justice in the Philippines. It's just a bunch of fucking dictators. You know, like they're just like, yeah, they probably already determined what his sentence is gonna be. Like it's all just a show now. I sincerely doubt that there's any like anything up in the air. Same thing with like South Korea. I don't think for a second that that's like an actual trial with Johnny Somali. Like they've probably already behind closed doors said this is what we're gonna do and here's what he's gonna serve because politically this is what we want.
Yeah, no, you hear the conviction rates, and yeah, it's almost impossible to not be found not guilty there. It seems like if it makes it to the court, you're almost certainly going to be found guilty.
Yeah, it's like 98%.
Yeah. So yeah, anything that's egregious is probably not going to be all that fair to the defendants.
Yeah, if both of them had started immediately with the like, oh, I'm so sorry, I should never have done that, they might both have just gotten kicked out. Just for the political expediency of like, we don't want to be seen, you know, by the U.S. as, you know, fucking with their citizens too much kind of thing. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something tells me the State Department isn't standing up for Somali, so that's probably good. Just fuck that guy.
Oh yeah, no, they're definitely not going to be on his side.
Yeah. I think I remember bringing it up early on Somali saga there. This isn't like the kid that got caned in fucking Singapore back in the 80s, where the State Department, like the U.S., was like leaning on them to try to get them to just not do anything to the spoiled rich kid that graffitied or whatever. And actually, even then, the kid still got caned. Like at the end of the day, no matter how much the fucking U.S. tried to lean on fucking Singapore, that kid got caned in the end.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, think how bad it's going to be.
So you go to a foreign country and fuck around, you're going to find out, you know?
Yeah. No, I remember them talking back then. They're like, yeah, that's pretty goddamn clean and fucking, you know, stays decent because there are serious fucking consequences for you doing any kind of graffiti or even like littering or any of that kind of shit. And he thought, that kid thought he was special. He was a rich fucking American.
Exactly.
Kid.
He thought he was special. He thought he could do what he wanted with no consequences because he was in a foreign country. There was a news report I saw recently out of Australia. They were talking about how these people are going to this, like these resorts along a river in, was it Thailand? I think it's Thailand or something like that, or it's some third world, like, you know, small Asian country. Or maybe it's Malaysia or something. I don't know.
Yeah, where there are a couple tourists have died or whatever.
Oh, there's not a lot more than a couple. A lot of people have died.
Oh, okay. Right.
And a lot of people have died there, and it's like this really big thing, and I was just sitting there watching it, going like, oh no, this is terrible. Like, what's happening? And it turns out the reason they're dying is because they're getting way too drunk and just fucking doing all sorts of dangerous shit on this river with all these resorts. And it's like, it's, you know, like depending on the time of year, like the river might be like running low and rocks are higher, and so when you're jumping off of, you know, whatever thing into the water, you hit the rocks instead of the water. And it's like, well, yeah, you know what, the onus of safety is on them. Like, they're fucking adults. They should know that it's dumb to jump into a river when you don't know how deep it is and you don't know what's under it when you're fucking wasted. You shouldn't do it sober either, but, you know, it's like water and liquor are not things you should combine.
Yeah, especially in an area, not even in fucking country, areas that you have no, you know what I mean, you're not really familiar with. Yeah, that's a fucking moronic thing to do.
Yeah, it's really fucking dumb. So that was pretty funny. I left a comment to that effect where I was like, well, these guys are fucking idiots. They deserve what happened. It's like, if you don't, no one else is responsible for your safety but you. Like, you know, you're the one that has to make the decision to do or not do. Oh, God.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you see the police trainer that shot a fucking recruit?
Oh, yeah, dude.
That was insane.
Yeah, I eventually thought, I thought that was training prop gun. Whoops.
Yeah.
All right.
They only gave him
Yeah, that
3
was pretty bad.
years, man. It was 3 to 7. Like, I agree. I understand it was a mistake. I do think it was a genuine mistake. I don't think he intended to kill that woman. But
Yeah. As a trainer,
as a trainer, he should
how
know
many
better.
times has that? Yeah, how many times has that trainer told people always treat a gun as if it's loaded? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Even the prop trainer
Exactly.
gun. Yeah. So that one's a little fucking wacky.
That's why I thought he should get the max, is because he should know that
Yeah.
it's dangerous to just point a gun at somebody. You know, like he's the one that of all people should know. He should have gotten the most severe sentence for that.
Yeah, and there's no way he hasn't heard about the. I thought.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. These may only get a few years, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very unfair. I thought that's what he gets. It's like only that. I was like, that seems unreasonable.
Yeah, that is very lenient.
But yeah, that was a weird one. What else? Let's see.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I posted the picture of the chick that was neglecting her kids and ended up killing her fucking husband. That coroner trial or whatever. I didn't. I was hoping there was like a compilation from like days ago of her wacky expressions or whatever. But I gotta imagine the way they were talking about it, I feel like there's gonna be a compilation of her weird fucking expressions in the court at some point. Just not right now.
Oh yeah. Also, there's like multiple companies now. I don't know if you've noticed this trend, but I've seen a couple of different companies now that pretended to be AI that weren't.
Oh, right.
Where they just hired a bunch of like Indian people to do it. They're like, oh yeah, we're AI. Just, come down. And then it just turns out it's just a bunch of Indian people in like a factory somewhere doing it. like an office building somewhere doing it. It was just like, oh damn, that's kind of funny.
That is pretty good. Damn.
But that just keeps happening.
Oh, what was the deal?
Amazing.
What was the deal with the TikTok mod or whatever? I didn't actually get the. I've heard that name and I've seen that person.
Oh, Novocaine or whatever, Novacore or whatever his name is. That guy.
Yeah.
So
I don't remember.
It actually seems like a really sad story. So, other than like the throw him in a wood chipper because he keeps getting involved with minors and shit, but like in every other respect, it's like sad. It's this guy is just like a total fucking loser, like in real life.
Okay, yeah, I remember.
And he somehow managed to get TikTok famous, but not for any reasons that are good, but for being like the most despicable, gross like person, and everybody just wants to watch him be like creepy and gross because it's entertaining. And
right.
He just keeps shooting himself in the foot. Like, he's chronically unemployed because he keeps talking about where he's working on like live streams. And then his audience will go and like get him fucking like they'll be like, oh hey, by the way, this guy is fucking messing around with minors on his fucking Discord or whatever.
Kind of gassing him up, dude.
Well, they'll go and get him fired again. They'll go and make sure that the company doesn't want to work for him. Like they'll be like, hey, by the way, this guy's a pedo, and it's like, this is McDonald's. We don't want anybody here like that's gonna be causing any sort of like attention.
Right. Yeah, they get any calls for any reason. Like we don't really care if it's true. We just don't want anybody fucking constantly calling here.
Yeah, they don't want constant phone calls and stuff. And people to like harass him. So he's like shooting himself in the foot in that respect. But he genuinely like it's like he goes to the gym, but his workout is bullshit. He does this and that, and it's all it's all not everything he does is like ridiculous. He's like ridiculously lazy, and like he'll start like cleaning his room or something on a live stream and just give up after picking up like 6 things.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, and he's like,
So
"Oh,
it's
I'm
kind
too
of
tired." And
almost
it's like,
farming.
how fucking
Yeah.
lazy can you be? Like, I have a hard
Yeah.
time walking and getting around, but like, I can pick up more than 6 things before I'm fucking done. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna like keep
So he's
going.
almost farming reactions from his own
Yeah, and he's
fucking
just
life.
he looks like a
Chat.
fucking. He looks like somebody that like just the more you listen to him, and the more if you physically see him and like listen, the longer you listen, the more you want to stick his head in a toilet and flush. And
Yeah,
not in
like
like
I'm in.
in like a mean way. It's just like somebody's
Yeah,
got to
he's got
do
to
it.
learn.
Somebody's got to fucking put
Yeah.
this kid's head in a toilet. Like he just doesn't. I don't know why, but
Yeah,
it's
no,
like,
I hear
this
you.
fucking. I need to do it.
Yeah, it's the one of actually what happened kind of thing.
Yeah, it's so weird. I don't understand it, but it's like it's just an immediate like overwhelming urge. Like this guy needs to be fucking bullied, and I don't like bullying
Yeah.
people. I'm not a bully. Like
Yeah, no, I'm the same. But I get you. Sometimes this guy should be. This person
if
needs it.
anything, if I see somebody getting bullied, I'm more likely to step in and be like, "Hey, back the fuck off, or I put you down, buddy." Like, hey. But this kid just makes you want to for some reason. So weird.
No, I hear you. I hear you. Oh fuck! Did you watch that one stream? The joke about the food that fucks you up for years afterwards.
You mean
Did you watch that one?
What food fucks you up?
No, it's the guy. It was the clip I put. It was one of the Taylor the Fiend videos, and then I clipped it like a 10-second clip. Most of it was quite obvious parody that Taylor was treating like real shit, but this one was obviously a joke. It's the guy talking to his wife or whatever, and he's like, they discovered a food that will end up like just messing you up and causing you to be miserable for years afterwards. And she's like, yeah, what food? And he's like, a wedding cake.
Wow.
I thought that was pretty good. That's pretty good. I hadn't heard that particular version.
That's a good one.
I approve.
Oh fuck, dude! They're still doing the rioting in LA, right?
Yep.
The fucking bullshit ICE thing.
Oh yeah, God forbid they come in and remove the pedophiles, murderers, and rapists from their fucking society. What a horrible fucking idea.
Yeah. How dare you deport
despicable.
criminals? People that were doing disgusting criminal shit before they were citizens and after they came in illegally.
Yeah. It's
what
like,
I'm saying,
I don't understand. It's like, why would you do that? Like, what's the benefit to that at all? It's like, I don't understand.
Well, it's that ideological autopilot thing. We're like, nope, it's never okay to deport the people that came in illegally and are committing crimes.
I think that they don't want to end up like New York, because if you remember, like when ICE showed up at New York to get people and deport them, because it was much the same thing. They were like, "You can't do this, illegal." Yeah. The police force will not aid you, and yeah. Didn't matter. They got the job done, and they got it done real fast. And the next place that ICE needed to go to was California. So I think it's only because that they don't want to get busted and found out, that kind of stuff. That's why they're doing the riots now, hoping.
Well, they're also stealing a bunch of shit too. So.
Yep. Yeah, that too. Oh, the whole thing was bad.
But the main reason why they're pushing the riots, I don't know if why the people themselves are doing the riots. They're just fucking morons. But I think the main thing they're aiming for is they want to. They don't want to lose the votes. They don't want to lose the congressional seats. They don't want to lose the electoral seats, because every illegal in the state counts as like, a person on the census, even though they shouldn't. Towards that, so
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So I think that's more of what it is than anything else.
Mm. Yeah, that makes sense. Not the actual people riding, but the people gassing for
Yeah,
sure.
the people that
That
are
is the
gassing
reason.
them up. That's the main thing behind it. Is that's what they want. They want the House of Representatives seats. They want the electoral
Yeah.
seats, and they don't
Mhm.
care what they have to get them. The people that are being gassed up are just a bunch of scumbag thieves that want to fucking rob. You
Yeah.
know, they want free money.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
communism.
Useful
You know,
idiots.
everybody keeps trying to say
Useful
we're in
idiots,
late
man.
stage capitalism or something. Like, oh, we're in late stage capitalism. That's why everything's going wrong. It's like, no, we're in communism. That's why everything's going wrong. Like, it's not. Like it's really
Yeah.
obvious.
You
Like
gotta
that's
make it
that's
work.
this is what happens when you have communism. Prices go insane, and like people fucking steal all the time and rob, and everybody's poor and nobody can afford anything. You know. And then all the products are shit because nobody has to actually do any real work. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Yeah, they want things to stay relatively good. But I mean, there's other things that they don't really want to get put out into the open, like the fentanyl, the other kind of shit that's going through.
Oh
Because you also
yeah.
have to remember, because they have all these ports that come in, and that's where a lot of the illegals come in, and then they go into Canada, and then they go through Canada, and then they come down. They process a lot of those drugs up here because we had this great big drug lab that was cracked down, run by the Mexican cartel. And so we found out that we have the cartel people up here. And of course, our prime minister wants to do nothing about it. And the only reason they cracked down the one that they did find is because the American government or CIA and all that kind of stuff notified them. So when he got notified, then he had to do something about it because if you ignore it, then it looks bad. But yeah, they arrested and shut it down. And apparently they got bail and were released. So they're out and about. And that's only the ones that we know about. For all we know, there are other ones operating all throughout the country. So why
Yeah.
aren't we doing anything about those? It's a real head scratcher on that one. So yep. So yeah, a lot of it's drugs, the fentanyl. I mean, the only reason Trump is tariffing Canada because they said secure your borders. Part of that is also to deal with the whole drug trade and all that. And of course, we're doing everything we can to not do anything about it. Why this
Yeah.
happens?
Yep.
Although we'll see. Things in Canada are getting weird. Partially because we keep finding more boxes of ballots that weren't counted in the last election, and it's forcing like re-elections in certain areas, and things are changing. So then,
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
and,
Ballots that weren't being counted. What a surprise.
and certain areas redoing their elections, so they're going to be doing that. And as that's been going on, certain areas are flipping, and so the Liberals are starting to lose seats. And as they lose seats, if they lose a certain amount of seats, then Conservatives will end up winning. Oh shit! So our election can get overturned for all we know in a matter of months. Although there might be an end to that, I don't know because the government's supposed to go on break by the end of the week for the summer recess. So I don't know if that's going to affect everything. I don't know. I don't know. None of this has ever happened before, so I don't know what
Nice.
the rules are. And then it also got so bad because our prime minister here, he's done so much shit, and because we're technically a British colony, the Governor General, who represents the British monarchy, came over here, and apparently she can give the order to say to spend the powers of the prime minister, which they just did a few days ago, because of the various different scandals, investigations, and the fact that the election could get overturned. The prime minister no longer can really do anything because chances are, looks like he might not be in power for much longer.
Well, and also chances are he should never have been in power in the first place.
Well, and like this, we used to have a lot of faith, even as corrupt as politicians may be, we always had faith in our elections. Canada, they seem to run pretty well, but now this calls everything into question
Yeah. Oh, I
because
bet.
because like uncounted ballots, and also other ballots that were considered spoiled because they said there was something wrong with them, and they're going over those, and there doesn't seem to be any irregularities. Because people who come in there instead of marking an X and just scribble all over the ballot, it's like that's considered like a spoiled ballot, so you just toss it out. But they're finding ballots that were clearly not spoiled. So it's like, why are these in here? So
yeah, why are these here and not being like, why did they not get counted? And good, hey, dude, that's what we need in the U.S. One of the things Trump needs to do is, if I don't know if he can because I'm not sure exactly how that works, but they need to what they absolutely should do is an ID voting system.
Yep.
So that you have to have an ID, you have to be an American citizen. There's no way to vote without proving you are an American citizen and you have ID and proving who you are in the first place. Because it's ridiculous that you should not have to prove that before you get to say who should be in charge of our country. You know what I mean? It's like, it makes no sense.
Yep.
And it's really easy. Like, if the people, like, if literally, and I mean this, like, and I usually prefer to use the term developmentally delayed, but if literal retarded people can get their own fucking IDs, everybody else can. And there's no fucking excuse. Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, I used to work with clients who are legitimately, like, developmentally delayed, and if they can literally, like, they can get their own fucking ID on their own. You know, like, they can take their money, go down to the DMV, and get the information all done, and fucking walk back with a fucking a picture ID. Anybody can do it. It's not that fucking hard. Like, I'm not buying it anymore.
Well, I was going to say real quick here, back on the whole Canada thing, the one thing that I'm rather upset about with all these recounts stuff going on right now, favorite party of all time, socialists up here, the NDP, they got more votes, which they got more seats, which means they actually went up to 17 seats, which means they're now back to official party status. It's like, fuck, we are finally done with you, ass. Got you out.
Yeah.
Now they came right back in. Which also tells me
with the bad, though, at least you're getting more and more conservative seats, and they may be a party, but they're not going to be in any kind of power anytime soon.
Well, if they have enough seats, then they're still a minority power that can help shift things one way or the other. Fuck, I don't like it.
Well, I'm just saying, if they get enough conservative people in power, they'll pretty much have the run of the place for the time being. You know.
It could very well be. So we'll see how that plays out. And one last thing before we get off Canada here. The riding that the leader of the Conservatives, he lost his seat in his own riding. That was Pierre Poilievre. He lost his seat, so he has to go through a by-election in a different area. If he wins that, he's back in the party, and which means he can then be the leader of the party again. But now people are sort of questioning, well, should he still be leader? Frankly, I think he should be because he fucking got this many seats. He broke records. I think he's pretty popular. I think it'd be stupid to abandon him, but they're kind of thinking maybe they should. Wow.
No, yeah, nobody wants to fucking go bet on a loser. But Trump lost, well, quote unquote lost. They fucking, he didn't lose. They just rigged the election for Biden. But, he came back and won after that, so. Because it was no more lockdown, and they couldn't rig the election the same way anymore. It just didn't work out for him.
Yeah, well,
I'm curious to see what happens with Vance, because if they try to get another lockdown or something like that, it's the only way they have a chance to get the left in power again anytime soon.
Well, they are trying to push that COVID's back. So.
Oh, are they trying to pretend? Yeah, that shit's not going to fly, I don't think.
Yeah, well, they're saying that, which always bothers me, because I'm like, why are you saying... Well, first of all,
COVID why are you saying a fucking lie in the first place. It was,
Exactly, but also let's look at it from a marketing perspective. If you wanted to say this deadly virus is back and worse than ever, yeah, why would you do that in the summer when people are less likely to get sick?
Yeah, exactly.
Like this is the worst time. If they wanted to start pushing that, they should have done it back. They should do that like in September or October. That's the best time to start the fear mongering again. Like how stupid stupid are you people? But then again, my guess is the only reason they're bringing it up now is because people like the World Health Organization is like Trump's pulling out of that, and that was the majority of their funding came from America. And without American funding, they won't have the power they used to have, and the influence goes right out the toilet. So if they want any hope of getting any relevancy, they have to say, "Oh yeah, it's back. It's a deadly pandemic. It's worse than ever." So I think they're just desperate because they know no one's
Also,
listening,
I
and they
think
know that.
Trump learned from the first time that they were lying and fucked him over, because he was like, "Oh yeah, well, we're just gonna be closed down for like a couple of weeks, like 4 weeks to be safe or something," and then they just forced it on him to keep it closed forever, and then Biden kept it going for like 2 years. Which is, why all the prices are spiked and why we're having all these economic problems now is because, we shut everything down for 2 years. You can't permanently close half of all small businesses, at least in the U.S., and then shut down all of the economy or most of the economy for 2 years and expect it not to have horrific, repercussions down the road that are going to take a long time to repair.
Hmm.
It's like insane.
Yeah, yeah. Although I do think you guys down there in the States have a way better chance of bouncing back from that than let's say up here in Canada. Um, just because I think you guys have more reasonable governors in the various different states. I know you have your crazies, but I think overall like there's more good guys than there are bad. So I think there's a fine go of it. Problem up here in Canada is that our federal government has a little too much power, and they think they can pretty much get away with anything.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Also, like we don't have the same freedoms you guys do because you guys have the freedom of speech and the right to bear arms. And the thing is that in places like Canada and the UK, when the population has no way of defending themselves, the police force are always worse than the general population. They know they can get away with it, and they have nothing to fear from the population at large. They can pretty much do whatever they want. In America, I mean, there's always a chance someone's got a gun. So of course, you're going to be on your best behavior.
Always a chance someone has a gun. There's always a real good chance somebody got a gun.
There are, yes, there are more guns than people here.
Exactly. See, there you go. I think it makes them a lot better behaved, in my personal opinion. That's why whenever I see those videos about those people who like argue with cops about like you need reasonable, articulable reason for like, pretty sure people wouldn't say that to a cop. That sounds like a fucking crazy person. That's why I think a lot of that's.
Oh yeah. No, that's perfectly reasonable though. Like you're sitting in a car, like, or you get pulled over. They have to have a reason to pull you over. Like they shouldn't be able to just pull you over randomly because they feel like going fishing for a crime. You know what I mean?
No,
Like that makes a lot of sense to say like, hey, no, you can't just arbitrarily uh, uh, start like pulling people over at random because you're upset one day.
Yeah, or you just somebody just looks. You claim somebody looks suspicious or whatever.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have to have a reason to pull somebody over. Like if you're just sitting there doing everything, like you're not doing anything illegal. You're just hanging out in your car on the side of the road because some of these people would just be sitting in their car near a park.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and then they get like cops show up and are like, "Oh, we need to see your ID and all this other shit." And it's like, why? Like I'm just sitting here, like having my lunch in my car. It's like you can't just pull somebody over for that. That's ridiculous. Or even like if they're sitting there, go over and start harassing them. Yeah, it's very it's one of the constitutional rights. Like they have to have a reason to be bothering you in the first place. They can't just be like, oh well, I was bored. It was near lunchtime, and I wanted to go give somebody a ticket, so I decided to go see if I could find something wrong with this guy. Like that's just not how it works.
Yeah.
Now we'll see how that works long term. Hey.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
What's some of the other stuff?
And what are the other things going on?
Oh,
The Supreme Court had to have 5 justices recuse themselves from a case because they all had
Oh, the book deal
deals
thing.
with a publisher, and so I guess it goes to
Mm-hmm.
one of the lesser courts, and like there's a specific one that it goes to. And everybody was like, "Oh my god, oh my god," and I'm like, "This has happened like one other time or 2 other times in history. It's not a big deal. They're doing what they should do, which is not weighing in on a case they have a
Yeah.
direct interest in." Yeah, I didn't see
Right.
any
Right.
real reason for them to be like flipping on that. That was weird for me. But everybody got all
Yeah.
hot and
Yeah.
bothered
No,
over it, and they're like, "That should never happen." And I'm like, I mean, they're the
yeah. I
Supreme
guess.
Court
Yeah. I guess you're right.
justices.
That
It's not
should never
weird that they
happen.
would
But
have book deals. You know what I mean? That's not
yeah.
like corrupt. It's
Yeah.
just like, why would you not? Like, I'm
Yeah.
sure there's
Not
people
necessarily.
offering Trump all sorts of deals for books. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not the craziest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, if they didn't recuse themselves, yeah.
Then I would be concerned. Yeah, if like 5
Yeah.
of them had book
Yeah.
deals and they were like weighing in on this case, I'd be like, whoa, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. Indeed.
on a
So I
weird
thought it was
question.
weird. Oh, go ahead.
On a weird question about book deals and all that. I've been looking into like self-publishing on Amazon because that's definitely a thing. You can now make books and put them on Amazon to sell. And I thought that's an idea. And
Oh,
one
wow.
of the popular. Oh yeah. And it's been going on for a while. Like people are self-publishing like crazy. It's
I knew
just
you
that
could do ebooks on Amazon. I didn't know you could actually like physical book copies.
yeah, they're made to order.
That's
So if you make
crazy,
it,
dude. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, I did not know you could do that far. I knew ebooks were a thing, but
yeah, like you could put it on there and you can hit publish and you can get a physical copy and they'll just make it on the spot. They have a machine that does it, and so
damn,
then
that's pretty
they'll
awesome.
yeah,
All
that's
right.
what I thought. And it's the same thing for like coloring books and all that kind of stuff. And so the options are out there. I was in a bookstore one day, just walked by. And there was a guy there. He was selling his book and all that. And I was just having a conversation with him. And he said, "Yeah, just go onto Amazon and you just put it all. There's a you have to go onto a website that helps you format it for them, and then they'll do that. And then you just hit publish." And so he just bought a whole whack of his own book, and then he just goes sort of promote it. And even if you don't buy it right then and there, I mean, he'll give you a card, he'll give you a link to his store, and you can get like an ebook version of it if you want to. So I thought that's even better. So that's pretty cool. So I've been thinking about because you can also publish things like coloring books, calendars, other kinds of stuff. So I've been humming and hawing about that kind of thing. What kind of things would I want to do if I wanted to do that? Which then makes me question: if you guys could publish a book, what kind of book would you want to publish?
Oosh.
Kind of book
You
would
mean
I
that
want
we
to
write
publish?
or just
Yeah, you could like let's say
we
you thought I could do that. I could publish a book, and you just brainstorm some ideas. If you could do one, what would you want to do?
If I was going to
It
publish a
doesn't.
book, that it would be some sort of like probably comedy fantasy book,
Well, and the other
like an
thing is you
urban
don't have.
fantasy comedy sort of like genre style book.
Well, and the other thing is it doesn't have to be like a novel or anything like that. If you want to, you can do like a self help book or a book about
Oh yeah. I
fishing.
know. Yeah, it's got plenty of options there. I was thinking, there's all sorts of options, but that would be what I would aim for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Comedy.
like
That sounds like
sci-fi and detective type shit.
sci-fi. Ooh, that sounds like fun. What kind of detective? Like you mean like a
Yeah, pretty
like
much any of that shit. Asimov's type shit, I guess, like the iRobot or like that kind of. I've always really liked those.
for some reason when you said that, my mind went to uh, uh, a detective on a space station investigating a murder, and having to find out all the various different sci-fi shenanigans that gets in the way of trying to get the information out.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
interesting.
trying to think. There was Robots of Dawn, which was similar to iRobot, but actually a little more in depth, I think. That was a good one, where it was definitely. Well, and that one you have to go to different fucking planets and shit. Like you got pretty involved, but they were definitely in some space stations, fucking, fucking around with shit. I do remember that him Asimov was like describing this fucking uh, kind of like similar to like an escalator, not escalator, whatever the fuck, whatever the fucking flat escalator is called. But like these bands that you go around and that actually lived there and used to them. Like there were people chasing them and they didn't really know how to fucking navigate them, so he lost them. Most of it was again going to all these different planets. Like it was a very involved fucking. Ended up being a very involved plots. But yeah, I don't know, that kind of shit. Or sci-fi horror hasn't had a huge amount of, to my liking anyway. Not enough sci-fi horror books.
They do that. Huh.
I just watched a video about the I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream by Ellison, I think. But yeah, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that one.
No.
That was an interesting one.
It's
a short story. It's the one where basically like it's the future. There's fucking all these different computer systems are waging for all the different countries. Then they all end up linking up, and it's like one giant fucking like planet-wide system of computers that just decides that they just despise humanity completely, and they kill off all but like 5 or 6 people, and they just the computer systems just torturing these people constantly.
Huh.
Yeah, like it's to the point where the computer they can literally people's physical appearance, alter their fucking pretty much anything. So it just finds new and exciting ways to fuck with them.
Okay.
Can't believe you guys haven't heard of that, dude.
No.
They made it into a game, like a computer game, like back in like the 80s or 90s or something.
I mean, I probably have. It does sound familiar, but I'm not. It's been a while. So maybe it.
Yeah. When Satan and Satire still came around, I had them to read the where the computer's talking about how much it hates humanity. Satan and Satire wasn't into it, so I just told him to stop. I thought that was right up his alley, but he refused to get into it.
Huh.
Let me see if I can find a quick.
One of the things I'd like to do at some point was like remaking some of those Choose Your Own Adventure books. You ever guys ever read any of those?
Oh yeah, I read those a ton when I was
as a kid. Those are great.
There's was a guy who was writing a whole series of those kinds of books, and he did a pretty good job. Made a fair bit of money. He just got tired and stopped doing it. But it's like Choose Your Own Adventure is like a genre that he pretty much owns. So you can't really, if you make a series of that, you can't really call it the same thing. So you'd have to. There was a guy who tried to do a series of his own. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, there was one of those on Amazon. The one I keep wanting to find, and I need to go to like a used bookstore, see if they have a copy of it, was Space Vampires. You guys ever hear about that one?
No.
Like it's a Choose Your Own Adventure?
Yeah.
It sounds really familiar, but it's been so long that I couldn't tell you like which one was.
So it's relatively simple.
For any of them, but it sounds really familiar. So I'm pretty sure I read it at one point.
Well, the general premise is really simple. It's about like this ship that has a whole whack of people on it, and they're in suspended animation, and they're on a trip to go to like a new planet or whatever. And apparently, along the way, the ship got hijacked by a series of vampires, and they got redirected to another planet where there's a whole whack of people, and quite literally, they're dinner at that point. But there's a kid, because it's for young people. One kid had to get out of the pod for like medical treatment or something, and when he gets out, he finds out that there's vampires on there, so he has to traverse the ship and get around and try to stop them or at least turn around. So you have to do that. I remember, like, I wasn't much of a reader, so I didn't actually read it, but I did look at it and check out the various different pictures that were inside the book. Very interesting. Vampires in space kind of scared the shit out of me. Because I thought, what the fuck is this? Oh my god, yeah, they're gonna get you. So it's one of the more popular of the choose your own adventure ones, and I keep meaning to go find it, but I always forget about it whenever I'm out. I was just at a used bookstore the other day too.
Oh yeah, yeah. That would be the
Yeah.
best place to find a lot of them, wouldn't it? Yeah, a used bookstore. Yeah, those were great books when I was a kid. I would go through those like I don't know how many times. Gotta fucking see if there's like some YouTube stuff like that now. Bet you there's like
What,
YouTube choose your own adventures.
There was, but at the time it wasn't very popular because it took it too long, and every time you hit another video, there's an advertisement and all that, and because it's just another series of videos, and it'd be a lot easier if YouTube would stop putting ads on these things.
Yeah, YouTube ads are getting to be a problem. I'm getting ads that are like 20 minutes long, an hour and a half long. I got an ad for some sort of surfing shit that was 3 hours long on like a 6-minute video.
Yeah,
It's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, dude. Like, what even is that shit? You know, like.
well, as far as I can tell, because I remember hearing that YouTube's actually purposefully putting in more ads, partially because they need money, like a lot of these things. And I think it's also because like YouTube or Google in general, or Alphabet is the name of the parent company, because there's a lot of talk of them being a monopoly, so they're going to be forced to sell. They're going to be forced to sell certain things, and they're not going to make their money back. Like apparently, Chrome. They're saying you gotta sell Chrome.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But
Google's definitely into monopoly status at this point for sure. Like, there's no question.
Yeah, so there's a lot of talk of breaking them up, and you could do that, I suppose. But and I think that's part of the reason why you're getting so many more ads, because you gotta pay for things because they need to make as much
here's
money.
The thing about YouTube ads, though. Like, when they first introduced them, I was like, oh, this kind of sucks. But whatever, I'll watch like 30 seconds, a couple minutes of ads, depending on the video that I'm going to watch and the length of the video. And I think if YouTube wants to get, like, they could fight ad blocker by just making the ads reasonable. Because there's a lot of people who would be like, yeah, I'm fine watching ads to support my favorite creator. You know, no big deal. But, like, they're not going to watch 20 minutes of ads on a 3-minute long video. You know, like, if it's less than 10 minutes, it should be like a 30-second ad break at the beginning of the video, and then that's it. You know, if it's like 20-minute video, then you have like another ad break, and it can be like 2 minutes for each ad break or something. Like, they need some sort of like reasonable limitation on the length of the ads versus the length of the video, because the reason why people use ad blockers is just not. I don't want to watch 20 ad breaks in 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to watch way more ads than actual content. It's never going to happen.
And in the last a few months, I don't know, maybe the last 3 to 6 months, it seems like it's really fucking ramped up how many fucking ads they're putting. And again, too many unskippable ones. Short, dude. If I can't skip a fucking 30-second ad, it's going to annoy me. Or even 15 seconds at this point. I don't really have a problem when I can skip something in 5 to 10 seconds.
Yeah,
it's kind of like I forget who I was talking to, but there's a bunch of ads for, I forget what it's called. It's like something FX, Radio FX, or something like that. But anyways, like every single one of the ads has like a version of this fucking like, I don't know, vampire kid at fucking super fucking hero school, right? Oh
god, the fucking vampire thing. I watched that whole thing once just because I was curious about it for like an hour and a half. And the series where they did like the actual like actors and stuff is not bad. It's actually pretty entertaining.
Yeah,
but
the problem,
like,
the problem is I've seen it so much that I would be rooting against Quinn Talon if I ever read these things. Like I would be actively like I've been so annoyed by
Oh yeah,
that
no, I
I
don't
want
blame
that
you.
kid to lose. Yeah. So to give you an idea of how
That
many
ad,
fucking ads,
I've
I'm
seen
like, I
dozens of
fucking hate
those,
that guy.
man. Not only have I seen like that ad pops up on almost like every other fucking ad break at this point.
Yeah, dude, it's so
It's
much.
there's one where it was like an acted one. Now there's like a 20-minute long um like commercial
Yeah, like
for
it's a
that or
super long
whatever, and
ad.
it's just like it's a
That's like
really
an
long ad.
infomercial.
Yeah, and it's
That's
like
like the
really
infomercials on
obnoxious.
TV. But yeah, that one's really bad, and it's always like a slight variation. Like I'm sure I've seen like 100 different variations on that same story, and I'm like, why does this one lead off with it saying Quinn Talon was bleeding from his butt? And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Why would you start an ad that way?
Because
Yeah, and
it's
So
some of them are
weird.
just really fucking weird. Yeah,
yeah, some of the
I know
ads
too
are
much about that
definitely
guy.
really fucking bizarre. Like, I don't mind the ads that are for like those stupid little video games, but some of them go on way longer than necessary.
Yeah, yeah. Now, any of the unskippable ones really annoy me. I get a bunch for like Cops Mobile or Cops whatever. Those ones are almost always on. Granger, which is like I assume like a Home Depot type place, I think. Those are a lot of times unskippable. So yeah, those ones really annoy me. Even though they're not long, I'm still like, dude, I don't want to have to watch this for 30 seconds. I now
Yeah,
actively
oh,
hate
fair
your company.
enough. Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, I'm gonna
Nobody
go out of
wants
my
to
way to
spend
make
that
sure I
time.
never give any money to your company because you insisted on unskippable ads.
Yep, pretty reasonable actually. A lot of the stuff that YouTube advertises, I have zero interest in. Like they just
Yeah, yeah, and for some reason, my they seem to think I live in Nevada, which I'm still not understanding how that happened. But I get a lot of ads for like politicians. Not now, because you know, uh, campaigns going on or any coming elections. But dude, I was getting bombarded with like ads for Nevada politicians, and I still get ads for like local companies in Nevada.
oh
I'm like, all right,
wow,
I don't know
that's
what I did
really
there.
strange.
I have no idea. Or just straight up in Spanish. I get ones that are like literally straight up in Spanish. So yeah, I don't know what I did. It wasn't deliberate. Whatever the fuck happened.
Well, I'll tell you one
They
thing not
definitely
to
think I'm
do.
bilingual.
Don't register as a
Mm.
Democrat and then register as a Republican. That's obnoxious.
So you just got to get both of it from both sides.
You know, like they finally stopped a lot of those robocalls, which you know they always could do and pretended they couldn't do for so long.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Right.
I constantly get fucking texts for politicians in states that I'm not even interested in.
Mhm.
Like California,
Yeah.
Nevada, Texas, Maine. Like I get, and it's for both like Democrats and Republicans always. And then the other thing I get that's a big problem is the house that my aunt lives in, the duplex. It's in a trust for my mom and her sister and their two brothers. And I've been added to the trust because you know if my mom passes away, it's easier if I'm already part of the trust to get
Right.
you know her for her so I have access to her portion of whatever is in there easier
Right.
without having to like go through a bunch of legal bullshit. And I get probably 3 or 4 calls a week now at least. People trying to buy the house. Just
Wow.
random companies, and like many of them have called many times over. Like they literally are just harassing us at this point. Like they've called so many times that it's like, what is going on? Like,
Yeah, take me
really
off of whatever
fucking
fucking list this is.
suspicious that we gotta have all this fucking constant barrage of like phone calls from these places to buy our fucking house. It's not for sale.
Holy shit!
Like
I
it's
just
not listed for sale, and it's never going to be.
mm,
You know, my aunt lives
yeah,
in one
yeah.
side of the duplex, and then they rent out the other side for money to pay for her living expenses.
Dude, I just got one yesterday from Gavin. Money to help fight back against Trump.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Well, he
most
tried
recent
going to
one.
the courts to stop Trump from enforcing the law, and the courts were like, no, he has an obligation to enforce the law, not just the right.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
so good luck with that, buddy. No.
God damn, dude. Yeah, I've erased a bunch of them, but yeah, I get them so much weird shit like that. Let's see
The
if there's
house one is
anything
the
else.
one that really bothers me. Is like, if you own a house, do you just constantly get people calling you trying to like take your house?
Yeah, yeah, I never answer any of those. And my voicemail is full, so I keep it full.
Oh yeah,
Just
I
so
don't
they
answer
can't leave
phone calls
messages.
from numbers I don't know. I just stopped doing that altogether a long time ago. Just because it's
Yeah,
like
like now I
I'm
don't
not
even
going to
give them
waste my time. It's never for me, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I say, you leave the voicemail full, they can't leave any fucking messages that you have to check.
Yeah.
What the fuck is Monica McKylie? All right, some rep from somewhere. Okay. Apparently she was on CNN at some point. This was back May 20th. Jesus, dude. All right.
Yeah, I've systematically hit stop on every single one of those. And it just never ends. Like they keep sending
Yeah, it
them.
just comes from a different. Yeah, it'll come from a different number because it's
Yeah,
so
but it'll
easy to
be the same
fucking.
fucking person they're advertising. It's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
frustrating.
Because I blocked the numbers for a while, and then I'm like, oh, this is pointless. This is going to end up potentially causing trouble, so I'm not blocking any more numbers. But yeah, just replying stop whenever I come across them kind of
Yeah,
works,
oh yeah.
but not really.
Sometimes. I keep getting the calls, so I think it's almost pointless. But I guess like I don't get them from the same place again, so I guess that's better than nothing.
Yeah, it might eventually cut down on all of them. Yeah, I guess I don't get as many as I used to, so that's progress.
Yeah, sort of, maybe, kind of.
Whenever I go check my mail, there's always a piece of paper in there from some realtor saying, a family of 4 could really use a home right now. Have you considered selling your home, sir? And I'm like, I don't own this place. I'm just renting. All right, fucking leave me alone. Those are like instantly to the garbage.
Oh God.
Yeah. Maybe I'll take a page out of Ian and Anissa's book and just reply, "In no world will I help you."
Indeed.
You guys know what I'm talking about. From the
No.
boxing trainer guy, when they had asked him for help with something, and they
Oh,
replied back to the boxing trainer guy with, "In no world would we help you."
in no world will we help you. Wow, that is
Yeah, yeah.
fucking
I was like, wow, that's
crazy.
fucking gross. Yep. I'm like, yeah, why can't you just politely say no? I guess if you want to really shut it down, if you want to have to go extreme.
That is
Yeah. It seems excessively obnoxious to reply to that.
that is bonkers.
Yeah,
I'd forgotten how
yeah,
crazy that was. Yeah.
yeah. That was the most devastating thing against fucking iDubbbz and Anissa that I've seen. Mm. Especially since Harley was on there with them, kind of like corroborating to a degree.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that was crazy because they completely ignored him when she wanted with the ending the child bride thing in Washington. I'll live. Didn't even bother, like, and not even saying in no world would I help you. Didn't ever respond to him, and got ignored for months until they heard that they were going to go on the H3 show, and then suddenly they messaged the fucking boxing trainer guy. Hey, I hope this is just not real, but I'd love to talk to you about this. Before you go on.
We could
I was like, that's pretty
maybe
fucking gross.
like talk about some money or something, and
Yeah, like, oh, now that you're gonna go on and what fucking scumbags we are, I'd love to talk to you. I didn't give a shit about the child bride thing that you were trying to stop, but now I'm very interested in talking to you.
that was crazy. I've heard stories like that before too, from like people just in real life.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
one of the ladies I worked with at the place when I was working assembly. Well, I was testing, not doing assembly, but either way, like one of them was she gotten her parents married her off when she was 12 to some guy in Mexico, and that was part of why she was
yeah,
here, was to get away from him and not have to be like married to him anymore. And she had like 6 or 7 kids, and she was like 20. So if you
yeah.
do
It's
the
fucking
math on
gross,
that,
man.
those kids, a lot of those kids were. I think she had her first kid. Well, she said I think she had her first kid when she was 14, which
Wow.
is disgusting. Like this is a fully grown
Yeah,
adult she was married off to. He was like 20 something.
yeah, yeah. Well, the boxing that happened here. She got married off at 12 in Washington or in America, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that
Dude, that's
happens.
fucking like,
That's a thing that
wow.
happens pretty regularly in a lot of states. Actually, there's a lot of states that
Yeah,
allow parents
yeah,
to marry their kids to other people, which is insane. Like,
yeah.
why should you be allowed to marry your child off to somebody? Like, that's disturbing.
Yeah, that is very disgusting.
Like
Yeah, I was
that's
shocked
a
that that was
decision
still
for an
allowed to
adult
happen.
to make. An adult can decide whether they want to get married. A child should not be like, well, my mom and dad decided I'm marrying this guy, so I'm 14 years old and he's 30, but I guess he's my husband now, or I guess that's my wife
Yeah,
now.
yeah. There's plenty that it's perfectly reasonable for the parents to be in control of with a kid, but marrying them off to an fucking maybe teenagers, if that, 12, 13, whatever.
Yeah, what was it? I worked with a
Uh,
Cambodian lady. Their family arranged the marriage before she was 18 to her husband in America, because then when she turned 18, they could get married and she would come over to the U.S. So like that one made more sense because at least they were waiting, until she was 18 for the marriage part. But it was still like,
yeah, mm,
kind of gross that was like the thing going there.
yeah. Any arranged marriage, dude, is pretty fucking disgusting, man.
She was committed to it too, which is the really sad part.
Mm,
And
yeah, I
even
guess
worse
that's a
than that,
cultural
she had a
thing.
kid when I met her, and she was chatting with one of the other ladies, and she did not know what an orgasm was because she'd never had one,
Mm,
which is
yeah,
really
because
sad. You
she
already have a
really just
kid, and your husband has clearly been fucking you at some point or another, at least once, probably
yeah.
multiple times by then. 'Cause they've been married for like 2 or 4 years at the point. But like you gotta ask your friend what an orgasm is, and you feel like, oh, I've never done that. That sounds awesome. like,
Yeah. Yeah, the
oh
husband's
man.
literally just treating her like a fucking jizz jar. You're like, yeah, it doesn't matter if you enjoy this.
Yeah,
Gotta
exactly.
make kids.
That's probably how it is over there, though. She's from Cambodia, so I'm sure, like in Cambodia, you just like, your parents marry you off, and then you make kids with whoever you're married to, and the idea of an orgasm is, if you're lucky, you get one. If not, well.
Mm, mm-mm. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. Yeesh. Did we talk about the video game? The relooted video game?
Oh yeah, no, we did not. Yeah, the fucking game of black people stealing shit. That was funny as hell.
Very woke. Yeah. But yeah, they're literally like, no, we're taking back the African artifact stolen from us. So, and then everybody's like, okay, so you've got black people stealing shit. If you want to break it down, Like, okay, great. No, you're doing wonders. Very woke of you.
Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna work out for you. Yeah, the black people stealing thing. Everybody's gonna want to buy that one and not make fun of it at all.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's going to be the whole Ironheart situation with the Disney series they got coming out soon.
Mm.
'Cause I don't know if you know her backstory, but she's supposed to be like the new Iron Man. Her whole thing is she stole parts from Tony Stark and made her own Iron Man suit.
Oh
And like,
wow.
Yeah.
like
Why couldn't
oh,
you just make her a child genius and she somehow made it herself?
well they
Like you
said
could
that
say she stole the plans or something. All right.
their logic was that she was a child genius, but she didn't have access to any of this kind of stuff. So the only way she could is if she stole it. But I'm like, you realize
All right, right.
that still sounds pretty racist.
Yeah. It's still pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I don't think nobody. I mean, when the comic book was out, nobody fucking bought it, right? I mean, it wasn't a popular comic book.
That's right. It was not a good selling comic. So yeah, same thing with
number one. The first issue always sells well, or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's why they keep doing it. Like they'll do a series, then they'll discontinue it, and then they'll do a new number one, and then a new one. That's their selling point. That's how they make money. And it's kind of stopped. People just stopped caring about comics, and they're dying 1,000 deaths right now, and it kind of sucks because they're trying to turn things around, but it's not going so well because they've damaged the brand so much. When I say they,
no, it's gotten to the point of apathy where people don't even want to bother checking something out because they're just assuming it's crap. So they don't even bother to see if it's crap. They're just assuming it is.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the problem. Like, even though some of the products are going to be really good, I'm sure a lot of them are very entertaining. No one really wants to read them. So I wish them luck. You're going to need it.
Yeah. Good luck. You're not going to be getting much done, but hey, well, you're trying, I guess.
Yeah, they're trying. But on the plus
side, the puppet boxing game that's coming out, that was like a good news thing. Like it looks fun. It looks like sort of like a Mike Tyson's Punch Out style game, but with puppets.
I saw I didn't watch it, but I saw that. Yeah, it looked fun.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of neat because it was like Mike Tyson style, where you're like, third person boxing and stuff, and it seemed like a really fun little game. And it was like I think indie games are like the way of the future at this point. I don't think there's going to be a lot of. I think name brand games are going to start to fall off. Honestly, I think they're just kind of like going to start losing popularity because they're charging more and more money, and it's like great, but people are making less and less money, so you're not really going to get as much sales as you used to. Like, nobody can fucking afford to buy your products anymore,
Yeah, and they're also making it less and less for what people actually want, or what the majority of fucking potential customers are going to want.
Yeah, it's more and more like stuff that people are just not interested in. Like,
they're trying to satisfy a market. They're trying to satisfy a market that doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of loud assholes that want shit to change that they were never going to buy in the first place.
Yeah, it's sad. I think they're gonna regret.
It's been like almost a decade at this point, though, hasn't it? Like, how are they fucking not figuring? Well, I guess they kind of are. Like, there are some companies that are finally a futility of what they're trying to do. But still, it's like, dude, there's, again, very few people, very loud people that are making it seem like this is something that a lot of people want. It's just not.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, I think people need to stop paying attention to, like, Twitter. Like, that's just really what it comes down to. Is like, Twitter or Blue Sky or any of these little platforms at this point are just full of, like, malcontents who aren't going to do anything and nobody cares about their opinion, like, besides them. Like, it's just...
Yeah. They're very good at complaining, and that's about it.
Yeah, they don't really do anything worth getting.
And complaining about shit that they don't really care about. That's the worst part. It fucking bugs the hell out of everybody. They don't care about the thing that they're bitching.
It's like it's why homeowners associations are so bad. Is like the people that are being listened to are the bored losers that have nothing to do with their lives, and so they have nothing to do other than try to control other people and make them miserable to get off on it. You know what I mean? Like, that's all it is. It's for fucking miserable
it's for people that have always been unimportant, that people will never listen to. That
they
can
were
somehow
the
make,
ones that get bullied, and they got bullied for a reason, and now they have the opportunity to be the bullies.
Yeah, the bullied and the kickball crowd.
Yeah. I also think a lot
never matter.
Well, a lot of these people are also like old and like they have nothing better to do with their time. Because I don't know if you noticed, but like old people, they're fucking catty. Fuck, and they're constantly getting upset about the littlest of things. That's because they have like nothing their time.
Mm-hmm. Everything seems very important.
One of those things that a lot of couples that they like break up is one of the biggest things to worry about is retirement. You know, suddenly
when you have to actually be around,
man is home all day long and he doesn't have anything to do. Like, he used to have work to keep him occupied. And, you know, it's like similarly, there's also a big stressor on marriages is what do you call it?
Empty nest.
Empty nest, yeah. When the kids leave the house and the mom is home alone all day, and it's like one of the things they really stress is like you need to have hobbies. You need stuff to do with your time. You cannot just you cannot just exist. You need to have like things to do.
It happens to a lot of athletes too. When the athletes get divorced, they kind of realize that you know, them and their spouses realize that they kind of can't stand each other anymore.
Yeah.
When they have to be around each other.
I think that's just most relationships in general. Because I think, like, you know, time apart is actually good. That way you don't end up like being angry at each other. It's always good to have, like, you know, a job and all that. That's why it's like I know a lot of those more traditionalist people think like, yeah, the mom should stay home and all that stuff, and that's fine for raising kids. It's probably good that, you know, once the kids go out for school and all that, that maybe the missus can go get a job. You know, they'll go do something to occupy her time.
Yep.
It's not that they need the money or anything, because like if the guy's making enough money, it's not that they need the money. It's like, I just don't want you getting bored and doing something stupid like screwing the neighbors. It's like just
that is probably a good portion of how like people end up cheating is like literally like they just have nothing to do.
I think you're right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
boredom.
I think I'm bored. Life isn't fun anymore. I need life to be fun because I'm not capable of making life enjoyable on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they just need to fucking get a hobby.
Yeah, get a hobby, get doing something. You know, just anything to occupy the time. So, and that's why it's like, you know,
if you can't find a hobby, start working with a charity. You know, go down and volunteer at the soup kitchen or the shelter or a fucking whatever. Like, just go volunteer somewhere. Like, go volunteer to help people at your hospital. Like, that will keep you occupied. It'll also probably help these people live longer, too. Like, if you have something to motivate you to get out of bed every morning and do something interesting, that's going to be a lot more...
any kind of purpose, dude. Any kind of fucking purpose.
Life in general.
Yeah. Get something, give them something to do. Have them, just anything. It's good for them. Like you said, keep them occupied.
Yeah, that's what helped. It's obviously an extreme example of this, but that's what seemed to make a big difference in like people that survived concentration camps versus those that didn't.
Oh
As
yeah.
having some form of purpose. You know what I mean? However small.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Seemed to make a big difference in who survived and who didn't.
Just got to keep yourself occupied. Don't spend too much time in your head. You're not gonna like what you see.
Oh yeah. I mean, aren't people that don't have jobs like more depressed? I know, like for one of the things that I've seen for the clients I work with when I used to work day shift was the clients that go out and do volunteer work. They go out and do day groups. They go out and like hang out at the library, or they go and take like classes or something. Um, those are the people that are going to be way more successful in general because they're not sitting at home all day watching TV and just being depressed about not being able to go do whatever they want. They're out pursuing something that is keeping them occupied and entertaining them during the day. You know,
That's right.
and eventually those are the ones that move out of the programs and get to go live on their own and then go do whatever the fuck they want all day. You know, as opposed to being in the groups in the programs. Because like where I work right now, they're not allowed to leave the property from like 8 p.m. or no, from 5 p.m. to like 8 in the morning. They can't go anywhere off property. They're not allowed outside between 8 p.m. and 8 a.m. Like they're
Wow.
fully grown adult men in their like 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, even like their 60s, you know. And they got to ask permission if they want to go get like a cup of fucking coffee at the gas station around the corner, you know, go get some fast food for lunch one day or something.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like that's not a place where a lot of people want to be, you know. It's kind of boring and depressing and miserable, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's a pretty wretched existence, dude. Jesus.
So, I don't know. These
I hear it's a relatively similar structure for like the very few men's shelters that are out there. It has a sort of a rigid thing. Like one of the things is there's a building there you can stay. It's kind of like you're paying rent and all that. But they also have a strict thing. It's like, you know, during the day you gotta be out. Can't be here. You gotta go.
Oh, we have one program like that actually. We have an emergency shelter program where it's like people who are living homeless can go in there and start getting their meds on a regular basis and a place to sleep every night. But like 10 in the morning, they got to leave and they got to go do something. Like whatever it is, they just got to go do something during the day. Like they can't hang out at the house.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
But
yeah,
it's, you know, it's reasonable. It's not like it's an unreasonable thing to expect them to do, like go out and do stuff on their own. Like it's like, oh yeah,
yeah, keeps them occupied, motivated. Hopefully, they'd have a job.
Absolutely.
Damn it.
But yeah, it's definitely something like retirement is definitely a thing to watch out for sure.
I'm of the opinion that retirement's a bad idea.
Well, you don't have to retire. Like that's up to you. I think retirement's a great idea as long as you have a plan.
Yeah,
if you have a plan for something to do with your retirement, like you're like, I'm going to retire and then I'm going to start doing this. That is, I think, the what you want.
Yeah, some kind of, whether it's a hobby or helping out.
The problem is if I'm going to retire and then I'm going to go sit on my couch and watch TV all day is a terrible plan. You're better off not retiring. You're going to be miserable because you're going to be bored out of your fucking skull. You know?
I tried explaining that to retired. You really don't want to do this. And it's like, nope. That's what I want. I'm like, okay. And it's like, you know, months on end, just it's the most depressing thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, a lot of people fall into that trap too, which is really sad. Like they just, It's like they think that it's going to be great because on your, like you work 5 days a week or whatever. Say you work like 40 hours a week, and you go home and you get to watch a movie and you get to play some video games and you get to like fuck your wife and your husband, whatever. That's great. But then the minute, like even on a vacation for like a week, that's fine. Like. Or even better, if you're going on vacation, you're going somewhere, you're going camping, or you're going out to like a resort or a hotel, or you're visiting family, you're doing something. But man, if you just like take 2 weeks off and you're not doing anything, that gets really fucking boring really, really fast. Like
that was kind of my experience when I was in Mexico, because like I was out there, it was fine and all, but it's like after the first month, I was getting my bags ready. I'm like, all right, well, I get ready to go home, and then I realized we were there for 2 months. Oh, fuck, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Then the boredom kicks in. I'm like, God, can't stand it here. It's a lovely place. Don't get me wrong. I recommend people going like Puerto Vallarta for a vacation, something new. It's a great touristy kind of place. People are nice. The weather is amazing, but months was too long. I really wanted to get home.
Yeah, I imagine.
I remember like the first thing I did as soon as I got home was because it was January, so we were back around early March, and like I walked to the local mall we had over here. I thought I'll go to like a like maybe a food court or something, like just to get the feel that I'm back in the country. And we had like this like thick mist in the air. And I had a full beard on me. It was just covered in ice and everything. It was like, it's good to be home. You wouldn't think that. It's like it's freezing cold, but this I understand. Constant tropical weather in the middle of winter. Like, what is this nonsense? Witchcraft, I tell you.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for that witchcraft.
Yeah.
You never know.
You wouldn't think it'd be such a bad thing, but dun
dun dun dun.
Da, da, da. Which
man, let's see here. Oh, what was there? Was a wrong button. Hold on here. Let's see. Oh, I think we've reached everything on the Discord normally.
That's probably for the best. I really gotta go to the bathroom.
Oh, and get my food. Well, you can always take off whenever you want. You don't have to like hang out.
Yeah, I'll just
like,
do.
I'll just have to go to the bathroom, dude. Like you don't have to like wait and just
wow, it's not like it's an emergency. I was just like just going through things, writing down some little do things while we're talking. I'll pop in every now and then. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot to pay the bills. I should probably do that. It's almost the middle of the month. That's really stupid.
Oh man.
Yeah, I do that every now and then. I'll get like really into what I'm doing and then not realize, because I've been way busier than I thought. Like I did a whole series of prints for this big YouTube channel, and I was finally done, so I had to get the paperwork in there and everything. And then they messaged me, because I gave them a series of concept sketches, and they said, hey, in one of these sketches that you did, it was a more dynamic thing, more action oriented, like everyone's like fighting and all that kind of stuff. Hey, do you want to do a series of those? Fuck! I just finished. I was finally done, and now they want me to do
is
that.
Is that work for you? Is that like a potential job?
It is.
Nice.
Yeah, it's work. It's an actual. I get paid for it. But what gets me, it's like doing a giant collage of people, and it kind of feels like to me like trying to make a Where's Waldo drawing. I don't know if you know this, but the guy who did the Where's Waldo thing, he was so burnt out he couldn't draw as soon as he was done the last. But once he was finally done, he lost the ability to draw. He just couldn't do it. His brain just couldn't function. He
couldn't bring himself to do it anymore. He didn't want to.
Yeah, and the brain wouldn't let him. It's like that's burnout on a level I've never seen before. And now that I've done this, like I kind of understand. And now I'm doing it all over again, but more dynamic. Which I think it's a good idea for me to do that because if you ever like see like comic books and stuff, every now and then they do that. They'll be a big action collages of various different people duking it out. And I'd see those pages. And I'm like, there's so much going on these pages I can barely comprehend. But at the same time, it looks cool. Don't get me wrong, it
Yeah.
looks cool.
Looks
I just can't comprehend.
Man, I got a little burnout. I'm glad I work overnights now because I don't think I can work day shifts anymore where I work. I got pretty burnt out on it. When a good friend of mine ended up having a mental breakdown and ended up getting like schizophrenic and all that other shit, and I was just like, it was weird. I just couldn't bring myself to be involved in their life anymore. Not like that there was anything wrong with them, like specifically. It was just like I know exactly what they're fucking going to deal, like how it's going to go for them, and I can't be involved. Like I just could not. I had to like fucking ghost them, which felt shitty, but at the same time, it was like for my own mental health, it was just too much.
Yeah,
Yeah, rough one.
that makes sense to me.
Yeah. But
Yep.
that's how that happens sometimes. You get burnt out. Care worker burnout is a thing that you have to watch out for in my line of work a lot. A lot of the plenty of people have moved on who were very good who just like they just were burnt out and they just couldn't do it anymore. You know, they were like, I can't keep showing up to work and helping these guys because a lot of these the programs when I started working, they had a whole thing of like natural consequences, and we're trying to get the clients to change their behaviors so that their behaviors are positive and helping them to succeed in life and to get further than where they are now, so that they're not like, you know, living in important cares. Now the focus is like everybody's just perfect the way they are, and we have to figure out how to bend ourselves to make whatever they do okay. You know, it's like that's not. There's no benefit to them being there. Like I work in a board and care, so they're already like fine. But like if I was working in one of the other programs, like during the day, it would be miserable.
Oh, yeah, do that.
Yeah, that's a horrible fucking mindset for anyone. Even if you're not in, you know what I mean? Like in some kind of rehabilitation shit. Assuming that you're perfect already and don't need to improve anyway. That's a fucking horrible mindset for anyone.
The problem is, the problem is they just look at it as you know, oh well, you know this.
You gotta accept them. Gotta accept the flaws.
Yeah, you just gotta
They
accept
can't help
them.
it. Yeah, they can't help it. Like, yeah, no, they can. There's a lot of shit that they can help.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. The constant, like, the thing that gets me is there's no consequences anymore for constantly violating the rules up until like they just get kicked out. And it's like if there were consequences whenever they broke the rules, like if we could actually impose consequences on them, they would stop breaking the rules and they wouldn't have to get kicked out.
So they have no idea, like when they're on their last.
Oh, they do, but there's been no consequences up until that point. So why bother? Why worry?
Gotcha.
You know, you've done it 30 fucking times. Nobody's done anything about it. Why would you not do it again? Why not do it the 31st time?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, that's fucking bizarre.
It'd be one thing if it was just dealing with like addiction stuff, like, oh yeah, this guy's addicted to meth, so if we let them go, they're gonna go do meth. Sure, get it, no problem. But like, especially for them, but it's like, you know, if there's never any consequences, well, of course you're just gonna keep leaving when they're not supposed to leave, or keep returning late from an outing or something. Or keep hiding food in their rooms and fucking bringing rats and fucking roaches into their rooms because there's food there.
Ooh. Well, it's the timeline. They can't help it, dude.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I heard the time blindness thing, I was like, oh, wow. All right.
Oh, that one was fucking obnoxious. Fucking time blindness.
So yeah, that just makes sense. Anyway, the bathrooms are calling, so
All
I
right.
will talk to you all next week. You guys have a
Right
good
on, right
good
on.
day, and hopefully things get better in California.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see.
Not likely, but
Same with
sure.
Canada,
I,
man.
Peace out.
yeah, take care.
Let's see. Oh, there was one thing. There's a murder case. I don't know if you watched when a killer doesn't realize she's being filmed.
Let's
It was
see.
the
I'll
two
definitely
ladies
watch
that
that.
killed their
Right.
dad.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
Was
Yeah,
that not
yeah. I heard
just
that story a
fucking
while back,
so
but yeah,
despicable? Like, oh my god, they would like it was because he was not convenient. I think the money was part of it too. I think they're just lying about the money not
yeah,
being part of it, but it seems like the
yeah.
majority of
It
their
was,
reasoning was just like he's so inconvenient.
yeah, we hated having to take care of
It was so
a
fucking
little bit.
sad, man. It was like that old
Yeah,
man died for no reason.
yeah. Other than
Their fucking
ungrateful
convenience.
children.
And he fucking raised them. He fucking spent all that money and all that effort and all that time, took them places, and they fucking killed him by holding a pillow over his face because they couldn't fucking competently poison him.
Right, right.
And it's like he didn't want to go to a home. Yeah, who fucking would? I
Mm,
wouldn't want to go to a home. I wouldn't want my mom or my dad in a home. Are you kidding me?
yeah, yeah,
Like my
yeah.
grandmother
Unless it
was in a home because she had dementia, so she just like it was just not safe for her to be anywhere else. Like even in our house, it would have been
yeah,
unsafe. She'd just wander off. You know, like there's just no way. Um, and our home would have been so like we're in a totally different city, so like if she went wandering off thinking she was going to visit her friend, she who knows where she'd end up. And we couldn't all move to her house to watch her like 24/7. It's just like it wasn't possible. So yeah, we had to put her in a home. But I mean, if there's no reason to be in one, god damn, absolutely would not want to be in one.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, unless there's just no other option, and yeah, just inconvenience does not qualify. And you know what I mean? It's so disgusting that you're just like, yeah. Although, yeah, at that point, it's like, why don't you just like, could you just not force them into a home at that point, or you just thought killing was more easier than having
Yeah,
to
the
deal with
number of
putting
people
them in
who
a home
just go
against
to
this?
killing is insane.
Yeah, yeah. It was
It's
way
like,
easier to just kill him. He's old anyway, so
oh yeah, they
yeah,
somehow
it's a
were
pretty
like, oh
fucking
well, he's what do you call it? He's in
he's
so
just
much
suffering
pain.
anyway.
He's suffering.
Yeah.
It's like it seemed like
Mhm.
from everybody else, and the really fucked up thing was they weren't even taking care of him. Like,
Right.
did you see that? Because it was one
Right.
of their daughters had moved in with him and was happy to live with him and take care of the guy. She was like, "Oh yeah, no, I was totally fine with it. I loved doing it. It was great. I really enjoyed spending the time with my grandfather. You know."
Hmm. So wow.
And they were like, and they still felt the need to kill him. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. 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 It did seem like the one sister was definitely worse. But they were both pretty fucking horrible.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. There's. Oh man. Let's see. Oh, the other thing I've noticed is the Taylor the Fiend thing. There's all sorts of entertaining stuff that he puts out,
Right.
and I watch a lot of it, but I don't think it's AI. I think he's following the the algorithm. He's taking videos that are successful enough that other people are recommending them from other channels.
Right.
That
Right.
other channels are doing commentary on and just doing his own commentary on them. It's like a really lazy, like, oh yeah, that's, that other channel that's successful did it, so I'll do it kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, he definitely takes shit from a lot of other. There's about I don't know, like 3 or 4 that he seems to pull from pretty regularly
Yeah, yeah, and he'll
of
like
stuff
thank
that
the
they've already
audience, like, oh, and
watched.
thank this person from the audience for suggesting this video from this channel. And you're like, oh, I see. I see. You know, like,
Yeah, the
yeah.
one
So,
that specific one shared, I'm like, dude, you're not even you're not looking at you're not even putting any kind of critical thinking into this clearly, because a lot of these are seem fairly obvious that they're parodies. You know what I mean? Like obviously the wedding cake one was just a straight up joke. That should have been obvious. Or I
yeah.
think it was. I don't think he actually looked into that one specifically, but um,
Oh, yeah. Some of them are like skits.
yeah, yeah, a good chunk of them, man.
Yeah, some of them are like skits, and it's like, well, wait a minute, that's not a real thing that actually happened in the video. You're whatever point you're making is kind of doesn't matter at that point. Like, if it's not a real thing that happened, then what's the point in addressing it? Because
Yeah, that's why I was like, is it just AI? That Quebblecop Kai back like a couple years ago, where he's like, yeah, no,
oh,
make
that
up
would
my
be
content.
interesting. What if Taylor the Fiend was actually an AI?
Yeah, or he just switched over to AI. You know what I'm saying? Like
Like AI writes the
like
scripts and
now,
he just records it.
not even that. The AI has just got him made, and it can just churn them out without him, like scripts and everything. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I suspect he watches the videos and then paraphrases whatever the points that were made by the people that originally did the reaction to it, and then just puts
Oh,
that out as
gotcha.
his reaction. And he
Yeah,
leaves
and
out
isn't really
anything
watching.
that goes into is it like a genuine thing that occurred or not, unless it's specifically covered in however the person
Yeah, by the
originally
person
reacted
who's
to it. Because the
yeah,
manosphere
by the
gets
person who
real
did it.
fucking weird.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
They get
They
real
seem
fucking
desperate
weird,
to
man. Like
believe.
they get into some real fucking sexist shit where you're like, all right, I get that men have problems and that there's rights that men should have that they don't, and they're being, you know, they're like second class citizens at this point. I get it. I'm not arguing that one way or the other, but the some of the shit, like, you can't get married, you can't get divorced without permission from your husband, you can't, like, men should just be able to walk away without paying child support. It's like,
Mm.
yeah, no, I understand that women can have an abortion and it's their choice and it's not fair, but that doesn't matter. Like, you can't just not pay your part of the kid's, like, expenses. Your choice is the same as, in my opinion, should be the same as women's. Like, you have that choice before you have the kid. You know,
Mm.
you can choose not to have sex with the girl, and then you don't have a kid, and you don't have to worry about child support. But if you did, well, you already made that choice. Pretending that you didn't have a choice now is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not like those rules, the unfair rules aren't beforehand.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not like, oh, I had no idea this is.
Well, and it's the same thing where women are talking about how it's unfair that they don't have a choice for an abortion. It's like, no, you had a choice to not have a kid. It was just not have sex. Like, that's already a choice. You having an extra choice because you don't want to make the first one the right way is bullshit. Yeah, pretending that that's some sort of tragedy is nonsense. Like, you know, you already had the choice. You chose not to. You chose the one that leads to having a baby, and now you have to deal with that. Like, it's not some sort of unfair, horrible thing that mysteriously occurred. You didn't go to sleep one night and just wake up pregnant. You know, God didn't fucking impregnate you with some fucking random baby that now you like. How did this happen? I don't know. And then that would probably benefit the fucking dating scene. I don't know. I'm fucking too old to give a shit, but I would imagine if men and women had to actually consider having kids before they fucked, you know, like that they might actually start thinking about who do I really want to spend time with, you know?
Yeah, or be a little more careful if they insist on fucking people.
Exactly. Be a little more careful on like the birth control and stuff like that. Absolutely.
God damn it. I'm trying to figure out how to print shit up on my phone, from or from the computer. But this printer is the fucking worst one I've ever dealt with, dude. It
Oh
just does
yeah.
not fucking work. Dude, I can't figure out what the fuck. I'm hoping. I just realized that I didn't have Wi-Fi, so I'm wondering if that might actually help. If that's what was
Oh, if your
fucking with
phone's
it,
not
there's a
connected to
strong
Wi-Fi, then
possibility.
yeah, usually the printer has to go through
Yeah,
Wi-Fi to get the information. Although some printers are Bluetooth, I don't know. Yeah, it just depends.
yeah, yeah. The fuck. All right, now I've got the Wi-Fi on. Let's see if it actually finds them. Ah, fuck it.
Hmm.
All right, if it works, it works. I'm not trying anymore until the show's over. Too distracting.
Oh, it's all good.
Fucking
I'm trying to
thing.
figure out how to like make my drugs have better effects in Schedule One.
Ah.
So
All right, all right.
like you can get effects where like the person will do your drugs and then like they'll turn into a cyclops. You know, their two eyes will turn into one eye, or like fog will
Mm.
like drift all around them, or they'll like be on fire, or they'll have lightning on them or something. And I'm like, I should make it more entertaining for me to deliver the drugs, just like make it fucking weird and wacky. And so one of the effects I've got
Hell.
on my weed now is Tropic Thunder. And when they smoke Tropic
Mm.
Thunder, they change to the other race. Like if they're black, they turn white. If they're white, they turn black.
Like Robert Downey Jr. character.
Yup. They get long face. Their head
Fun.
literally stretches. They get smelly. Then like a stink cloud surrounds them. Uh,
That's fun.
if they get sneaky, they physically get shorter. Uh, very entertaining. Very entertaining. Bright eyes. I think they have
Yeah, it sounds fun.
like their eyes. You can make them glow. You can turn them green. So there's a lot of fun little things, and it's like, oh, which mix? There's like, oh, I don't know, like 10 or 15 different things you can buy and mix into your drugs. Because the way you make different strains in this is not by breeding plants together. It's by
Mm.
spending your time literally buying things and mixing them with like a big mixing bowl with your finished product.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So you got your little
So it's
meth
not actually
crystal.
like in the plant itself. Okay, I
Yeah, so like
gotcha.
you have like a meth, like a one piece of meth, right? Like one little crystal of meth. You mix it with like a donut, then they get munchies. Like when they smoke the meth, it'll turn into a different kind of meth. Like it'll have a different name. Like right now, I have one mix where it's first I mix the drugs with horse semen, and then I mix it with Adderall. They call it Addy in here, but it's like obviously Adderall. And
Right, right.
and then that's gonna make it electrifying. So they'll have like lightning bolts all around them, like they're like walking around like just with lightning all over them. Very funny, very entertaining. So I've got lightning and I've got Tropic Thunder, and I'm trying to figure out what the other one I want is.
Okay.
What's interesting
What the
though is this
fuck?
game is made by one guy, and it's actually like a very good game with a fairly decent amount of like replayability. Like even once you've done everything, like it's still fun to keep going.
Yeah, that's pretty rare. Most shit eventually gets pretty repetitive, so
Yeah.
that's a good
Wait, did I
accomplishment.
not finish watching that Turkey Tom thing, or I did watch it? Yeah. He
Mm.
oh, he also I think did OnlyFans. or tried to do OnlyFans. The Nova guy. I don't know.
Oh wow.
It was a turkey tom
All
thing,
right.
so it was entertaining. But that was a weird one. Like he was all diaper fetishy, but he belongs in a wood chipper because he did like start trading stuff with like minors. I'm not. It didn't clarify if he
Yeah, I know I've
absolutely
seen
knew
that.
or didn't know. Like he would run discords for his TikTok, like his discords, and the minors would always end up in them, seeing things they're not supposed to. But it never clarified on whether or not he was intentionally,
Like
knowingly
actively,
giving
right?
sexual content to minors as like part of like trying to date or fuck them in some way or get nudes or something from
Yeah.
them. It never clarified. He was the most pitifully sad piece of shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, I know I've seen shit about him before, but not. It's been a while. So it sounds like he's not been up to much good since then. Because yeah, I don't remember a whole lot of specifics.
Yeah. But he looks exactly like
But
you
yeah,
would expect
definitely.
a Discord mod to look, though. That you have, you could say no problem.
Yeah. No, it's kind of exactly how you'd expect him to when you look at him.
Yeah.
Reminds
Oh
me of the.
yeah. Did you see that
Remember this?
Somali did some fake videos where he tried to
He
make it
did
look like he
more.
dressed up like a KKK person to go to his court? But it was really him
Oh wow,
and Hank pretending on the top of a building.
wow! I did not see that. I wish.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything you can do that could surprise me anymore.
They tried to act like
Like
they did it, but really they just went up onto the top of a building nearby and filmed it, like pretending like they were in the building, and then like, he took the outfit off to go to actual court. His Discord guy is turned on him now. Somali's Discord guy that ran his Discord is like, yeah, he's fucking.
like, I'm done. I'm out. Fuck
Yeah.
this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy's a sinking ship. I'm amazed that Hank is still like supporting him. I gotta say, I think that might be more than a friendship. Like I know there's the joke that they're fucking, but
Yeah, it would help explain a lot, wouldn't it?
I mean it would make
Why the
more
fuck are you
sense
still
because
there?
if you're not getting blowjobs from somebody, why would you be under those circumstances? Why would you continue to support them?
Yeah, just loyalty of a friend doesn't really explain it.
Look, I would help my friend through a lot. I would absolutely, but if they consistently, continually make it worse over and over, at a certain point, I'm walking away, friend or not. Just because it's like, look, you're obviously not interested in fixing in help. You're just making your own situation worse every chance you get. So why would I continue to throw money down that hole?
Yeah, deliberately deliberately doing worse shit, bad shit,
Yeah, absolutely bonkers, man.
just over and over again. Yeah, it's pretty fucking nuts, man.
Yeah, that guy's gonna. I can't wait to see these guys in prison. Like, I know part of the punishment, the way that the system works in those countries, is that how long that it takes to go through the trial process. But goddamn, can we just get them in prison now? I can't wait to see
like,
all the other like real streamers. Oh, so fun. Oh, did you hear about that YouTube murder? The one in Vegas?
YouTube. Oh yeah, the live stream.
Yeah, the
Like
guy
they were
was
having
live
some kind
streaming,
of,
and then the guy fucking went and shot him and his wife.
while they were streaming.
Fucking insane, man.
Yeah. I knew nothing of any of those, but apparently they were doing some shit back and forth. And,
yeah,
like,
I didn't know
antagonizing each other.
either, until that thing. But yeah, they were going back and forth for a long time. But yeah, no, they literally fucking, they're fucking done now, dude.
Yeah, the ones that got shot like went to Vegas where he lived. Fuck with him in person necessarily, but they did go to Vegas where the guy lives, right? The one that ended up shooting him.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and the thing that's crazy is he was making videos talking about how he's going to go fucking kill him. And I was like, oh, well, you know. I'm not surprised he did. He'd been talking about doing it for so long. It's like, well, I mean, of course he did, you know.
Yeah, why would you bother, like, calling someone's bluff in that situation? Like, what's the point? Like, even if he doesn't kill you, why would you take that risk at all? Like, fucking point.
Yeah. So
again,
sad,
it's not good. Not okay that he killed him. I'm not fucking saying that, dude. But
no.
I would not do that in that situation. I would not go to where that person lives. When it's already a heated fucking...
The drama gets to be crazy, man. I mean, look at the stuff between Ian and fucking iDubbbz, you know, like, who knew how fucking crazy iDubbbz was? If he'd just shut his fucking mouth and just stayed out of it and just said, you know, all right, you know, I didn't fucking speak up for my buddy, so, you know, he's mad at me or whatever. And then he just kept shut about it anyway, he would have been fine. But he, like, destroyed his fucking career. Fucking what's his
I think
name?
most people...
Creator Clash is completely fucking done now. I mean, they may be trying to do it again, but they already had to fucking delay it. I don't think they're going to make enough money to, like, make it happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, they delayed it and they moved it to California. They moved it to a different spot.
I don't think they're going to make enough money to make it actually happen. I think that was like an attempt in vain to separate it from iDubbbz, but you can't be done. iDubbbz created it, you know.
Yeah, he fucked it up. Yeah, he tarted shit.
If they want them being out now, continue at this point, they should genuinely rebrand entirely, call it a different name, do it all different. Get a different group of people involved. Stop going through the people that they're going through. Like, just... Like, because it's cool. Like, I like the idea of them boxing for, like, cancer charity or whatever. Like, giving money to kids or something. And they could just change the name of it and then go to a whole different group of people. Like, I bet you if they went and talked to Harley now and said, hey, look, we're going to change the name. We're not involved with, you know, any of these people anymore. Who do you recommend we work with? I'm sure Harley could give them a number of names of people either he was aware of or actually knows, because he's fairly, like, he's old school YouTube. He's got to have connections and networking. I'm sure he could help them get hooked up with people that could get them hooked up with other people. They could have a gangbusters fucking event and make millions of dollars for charity, no problem. You know, like, I have no doubt in my mind.
Yeah. It's just kind of scummy that they were fucking trying, like, iDubbbz was trying to claim, like, oh, we were set to make 34%, but we had to do it like that. I know you won't believe me, but yeah, showing it that I was definitely going to give the money to charity. That's just the way I had to do it.
Yeah, that's
totally
absolutely bullshit, by the way, too. That's not how it works.
Oh,
you have to collect the money and then give it to charity. It's normally
it's ridiculous.
Would be going to charity without going to anybody else first, because you lose money that way.
Yeah.
Like, and here's the thing: the reason they have to pay taxes on that 34%, and then they can donate the rest to charity. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And that's the really gross part is, like, from the beginning.
They were gonna fucking keep it.
From the beginning announcements of the Creator Class 3, they're like, yeah, we made sure that we're guaranteed to get money to charity this time. And it turns out all that was the Tiltify link or whatever. Like, when you went to buy the tickets to Creator Clash, you could donate to the charity right there off of that Tiltify link. Yeah. That's all that it was. That was all they meant by that. Yeah, it wasn't
a charity event. It was like a fundraiser.
Yeah, it was a fundraiser loosely attached to it, where like, hey, while you're here, why don't donate to charity? Say at least $1 charity. So yeah, it's pretty gross how they tried to fucking just do that. Just give the option to donate to charity on the link at the Creator Clash when you're buying tickets, and claim that it was what made it. That's how you ensured that charity got money. Without explaining that, you know what I mean? Like they still want to claim that they were going to put their money in. It's like, no, this is all you were going to do. All you were going to do was donate to charity that people donated, and none of it's coming from the event. None of it's coming from ticket sales. None of it's coming from pay-per-view sales. You put that link, so as long as one person donated, say that money was donated to charity. Like it's an incredibly misleading and shitty way of going about it.
Yeah, that was really shitty.
Because again, I don't doubt that there's people that are gonna, same people that blindly say shit like that think, oh yeah, no, they were definitely gonna donate the money to charity.
Oh yeah, you could trust them.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna send the profits. Yeah, I believe them. But yeah, again, most people are gonna recognize how full of shit you are.
Good Lord. Hey, you know what?
Yeah, the whole thing fucked.
Yeah.
And I was, dude, I couldn't believe it. But yeah, well, I did not think I could think less of like being in a knee. And after watching that boxing trainer guy and fucking and his wife go off, fiance, whatever, all the shit they came out with, I'm like, wow, you guys are actually worse than I thought. I did not think I could think lower of you, but you really are even shittier than I thought.
Yeah. Tough to gauge how they could be shittier. Yeah. Like how could they be worse than that?
Finding out or getting it confirmed, I guess, that Ian really has not fucked anyone other than Anise. Like I said, I had heard that and I'm like, wow. Yeah. Yeah, no, like I said, I brought that up a few times over the years or whatever, or however long we about this stupid shit, as a theory, and I was like, well, that would explain a lot. I'm like, I don't know this for sure. It sounds crazy, but no, it turns out it's fucking true.
You know what? I'm sure it's not that uncommon. I mean, it's weird because he's super famous. But I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who the first person they ever banged is the person they're like married to or like in a long-term relationship with, and like not everybody is going out and banging like people left and right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just odd that he can be like the level of insecurity and low self-worth that you don't think you can do better than Anita.
Especially being
that's
famous,
crazy.
Like wealthy YouTuber,
yeah.
Like they had enough money that they could throw parties for like $250,000, $500,000, and didn't think it was that weird.
Yeah. So again, it's just bizarre that he could think so low of himself, and I don't doubt that she's made that worse over the years.
Oh yeah.
Because again, you fucking listen to what they say in public,
that is actually,
dude.
The more
what
you
she
think
says about him
the
in
weirder
public.
that gets, though. If like it's because like not only is she not particularly attractive, but she's just a horrible person.
Yeah.
Like she's just genuinely awful, and it's like you could definitely find somebody. Maybe they're more or less attractive, whatever. But like you could definitely find somebody who's gonna be nice. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that hard.
Yeah, at least be a decent person. Yeah.
Like, they may not, do everything you want and bend to your fucking every whim, but I guarantee you can find somebody that's just pleasant to be around on a regular basis. It's not that hard.
Well, shit. Just somebody that fucking, what do you call it? Doesn't make you know what I mean? Doesn't
humiliate you in front of everyone all the time.
Yeah, because again, think about it, man. You know what the kind of shit she's totally fine with saying about him in public. What the fuck? You know how much worse has it got to be behind the scenes?
Oh God, that's a good point.
She's got to be like. saying some fucking truly evil shit to him behind the scenes, right?
Probably,
I don't
yeah,
think
that
she's
makes sense. Yeah,
nicer.
I mean,
I don't think she's nicer off camera, right? That seems
that seems fairly
a highly
unlikely.
unlikely thing. Yeah, yeah, and again, I think she knows she's got to make him constantly feel like you know what I mean?
Oh
That's kind
yeah,
of how the
that's
abusive
there's
relationship works.
another lady that does videos about like how like whacked out women are right now, and that's one of the things she focuses on a lot is like you can just be nice to the person and then you get what you want. Like you don't have to
Yeah.
do these
Well,
horrible
again,
tests and these mean things to this person you're in a relationship with. You could just be nice and they might be
yeah, but
happy
again,
to give you what you want out of the relationship. It's weird how that works.
that's the nature of an abusive relationship. Like they have to try to keep you down and make you feel like you're worthless,
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
so you won't leave. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, goddamn, it's got to be some truly fucking horrific shit, man. Like, I
Yeah, that's
cannot
one of those things
imagine. Dude.
I've never done to anyone, and I've always been like proud of myself for like I don't drag people down.
Hmm.
Like my dad was really a lot like that, where he would always try to convince people they were horrible. I think maybe that was partly why he was afraid that they would not want to be around him or whatever. But like, actually, no, I think he was more just projecting. I think he just felt like he was terrible, and
Yeah, yeah,
I think having a fucked up like his back was like my back is messed up. He had a humpback, like an actual
wow.
like Notre Dame fucking like
Yeah, an actual
fucking
hump in his back, yeah.
sanctuary, like that whole thing, yeah. And
God damn.
it happened to him when he was fairly young, and I think that might have actually been a big part of why he was so like fucked up.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about it. I don't know why I didn't think about this whole as long as I've heard about him shitting his pants. I'm like, I don't. I feel like that. No matter how much I might have loved a bitch, I feel like that would have been one strike and you're out. Like this relationship is over after you bring up me shitting my pants in public out of the blue
Yeah,
for no
yeah.
fucking reason. Like
I
that, I feel like that would be an absolute deal breaker, dude.
so like there was a podcast from Rooster Teeth. They did like Red versus Blue and a bunch of stuff. Very
Mm-hmm.
old internet stuff. They were putting out videos before YouTube. Like you actually
Right,
used to be able
right,
to find their videos on like different forums and like download it from their website, and then they put it on YouTube and blew up. But one of the guys
right,
there
right.
was from the very first group of people that started the whole thing, Jeff, and he had I think he had IBS or something. He had some issues with his bowels, and he would talk about
Right,
pissing and shitting himself all the time because he thought it was hilarious. And
right,
he's
right.
like, it's not like I do it on purpose. And he just fuck it. I'll go to sleep on the couch and wake up and I've shat myself. And my fucking poor family has to deal with it. He thinks it's fucking funny as shit. And he had no problem
Yeah,
sharing it. And
yeah.
he was totally fine with it. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? If his wife came out and was talking about it, that'd be fine. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Or like, uh,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
Gavin married this fucking Playboy model, like this chick that's like a nerdy chick that does like video game stuff and cosplay and did the little spicy OnlyFans stuff and did like Playboy and stuff. And his first date with her, he shit himself, and he told that story without anything. And it's like, oh yeah, well she goes and talks about it. That's fine. But like if you're in a relationship, you're
Mhm.
supposed to be partners. Like you and that person against the world. Like yeah, they might give you shit behind closed doors, but you should always be putting a united front forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And if
Like
you
if they're
watch
fine with
that,
talking
it
about it,
was
then you
pretty
talk about
obvious.
it. But otherwise, you should always be like have your partner's back.
Yeah, yeah, and it was pretty obvious that that he was not happy with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He
Oh
was just like,
yeah.
yeah, well, yeah. So that's an odd one. Just fucking Yeah, I don't understand how it, dude. I just had to put myself in that spot. I feel like, yeah, no, I would have gone off on her right then and told her to get the fuck out. Like, what the fuck you? Why would the fuck would you say that, dude? We weren't even talking about that subject. Like that had nothing to do with anything.
She just
Like,
wants, she's
yeah, you're
publicly
fucking
making
done.
sure that everybody knows the worst things about him so that he'll feel like
Yeah,
no one else would want
yeah,
to date him because they've heard all these horrible things already.
yeah, and he thinks nobody else is, because of that.
Yeah, you know what?
But
And,
yeah,
and
because
and from
people are like,
everything I've heard, he was a pretty decent guy before her, so it's kind of a shame.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But again, I think she's convinced him, and she's the only one that'll ever love him.
Yeah,
Because there are people for a while were theorizing that he had a humiliation fetish,
I
and I'm
don't
like,
think
yeah,
he has a
maybe a little.
humiliation
But
fetish. I think he
I don't.
just.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think he's a weak
Yeah,
person and he doesn't know how to
yeah, he's being dominated.
put
Yeah, she's got a
boundaries in
domineering
place.
personality.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to
Yeah,
set boundaries, and he doesn't have the
stand up for himself.
the courage to be willing to say, hey, you know what? If it means I got to be single, then it means I got to be single, and I'm done. I'm done with it.
Yeah,
Because it's like
yeah.
if you're in an
So yeah,
abusive
that's what I was saying. I'm
relationship,
like,
being single is better than being in an abusive relationship. Especially if you've got a
yeah,
lot of
not
money, because
everybody
you can at
feels.
least get laid if you got a lot of money. Like you can go out and get hookers.
Yeah,
If you can't even manage to date and have casual sex with
right,
people,
right.
dating like normal, but like the very worst, you could get a hooker. But
I'm wondering too, like, because I think somewhere fairly recently somebody had brought up to Anissa while she was on the show or whatever, probably doing her podcast about joking about pegging, and she's like, "Oh no, Dean doesn't want to do any of that stuff. Believe me, I've tried." Because apparently she's pegged previous fucking boyfriends and shit, which is not surprising. She definitely seems like the type to have the penis envy
there's a
that
lot
would
of
want to
women who have a
penetrate somebody.
fascination with that.
Yeah, yeah, apparently. But dude, I honestly would not be surprised that um, she has pegged Ian, but it's like the one thing that he refuses to allow her to admit in public. You know what I mean?
Oh, like he's like, look, bitch, this is not
He's like,
something
look,
you're.
I'll let you do this. Yeah. Like, I know we can do this, but you can never tell anyone. You can
Yeah.
never tell anyone that this
Jeff, the guy
happened.
was talking about who would tell stories about shooting himself. He tried that with his one of his wives. She was like, I want to stick stuff up your butt," and he's like, "That's weird, but I guess whatever. Like I like sticking stuff up yours, so I guess I'll let you try it."
Right, right. Like, it's only fair, I guess. All right, I see
Yeah,
that,
that
I
was
guess.
that was how he presented it. He's like, yeah, my wife was like, look, you fuck me in the ass, let me try. And he was like, given that logic, I couldn't refuse. apparently, apparently,
Yeah,
it
dude.
did not work out well. He was not. It did not feel good. It felt very painful, and he was very unhappy. And so that was a
Damn.
try once and never again thing. But like he was very comfortable sharing that stuff, whereas it seems like Ian is definitely not. So yeah, that might be the case where he's like, look, you just
Man.
keep that one to yourself. But I don't think
All
she
right.
would. Because an abusive person generally is not going to respect any boundaries.
That's why I think it actually happened. You know what I mean? I'm like, I see Ian saying no to that. She applied any amount of, and I am quite certain that she was going to pressure him about something like that.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
a
I would
weird
be
one.
surprised if she has not pegged him on at least on occasion, if not regular.
Some people pay extra for that. I
Pure
don't know. It's a good
speculation.
question.
I am it's very much complete speculation on my part. But knowing everything else I know about their fucking relationship, I would be surprised if he didn't get pegged on occasion.
Yeah, it makes sense, and it's funny either way.
Either
So.
way. Yeah, it's dude. Yeah,
I
like
don't
I
think
said,
I
it
could
was
do
hard to
that.
imagine.
I'd be open for a
It's
lot of
hard to
fucking
imagine.
experimentation, but pegging is just like,
Yeah,
nah.
yeah, no interest at all, dude.
No
Oh
interest in
shit,
doing
yeah,
anal
that's the
either
other
way,
thing.
to
I
be
don't think we've
honest with
really
you.
talked about.
Like, I don't
Yeah,
want to stick my dick up somebody else's asshole either. So, like, it's not like.
yeah, yeah. I've never had any interest in. Um, uh, oh, the other thing I wanted to bring up real quick was the fact that their main insult for their detractors is to call them losers. Um, and considering Ian is apparently only 1 point ahead of actual incels, it seems like a very odd insult, right?
Yeah. I don't like the incel insult because a lot of the times it's probably just not true.
Yeah,
Like, you have
yeah,
no way of knowing the
yeah. But even
accuracy
if
of it. And
not,
if somebody is an incel, like, you should pity that person, not mock them. Like, come on.
yeah, yeah. It seems like projection, I guess, because Ian has literally only had experienced one pussy apparently,
Well,
and he's
actually, that
insulting
makes sense
people
if
that
it's
are
the
one
left. If
point
the left
below.
is, it's just generally fucking can't talk.
Projection, yeah,
Projection, because it's
projection.
mostly something that gets thrown out by the left predominantly. Like, there are occasionally right wing people that'll throw it out there, like, after having it levied at them. But, like, the vast majority of
Yeah,
this is coming from the left. Now, it would make a lot of sense because if you think about it, um, men and women both on the left are very much not the kind of people you would want to date.
yeah,
Just like it's just the type of people that they are. The men are generally like, they're not strong, they're not masculine, they're not trying to provide, they're not trying to protect, they're not doing the things that women actually do want for men, even though they say they don't. And the women
right.
are also not the kind of women that they don't do any of the things that you would want in a woman, even though they claim that that's not what they want. You know what I mean? Like, they intentionally make themselves
Yeah,
uglier, and it's like, no, guys don't want that. Like, they want a woman who's soft and attractive and gentle and kind and gives them peace, helps them be peaceful.
yeah, yeah. It's
So,
fucking. All of it's just very fucking bizarre.
yeah, it just doesn't make much sense.
Don't get it. Yeah, and that's the other thing. They're still trying. They're like, I guess they both kind of. It's kind of that. I don't know if the folie do thing quite applies, but um, they really seem to. They claim that all these people that are criticizing him, yeah, they're a bunch of incel losers that are mad that she does OnlyFans and that he fucking doesn't say nigger faggot anymore. And I'm like, I
Oh,
don't know. Those
yeah.
people probably exist, but a vast majority of the people, that's not them. Like that's again, and if it even exists, it's an incredibly small percentage of the people that are talking shit about you. Um, and people have hated Anissa since well before she did OnlyFans, well before she met Ian,
Oh, yeah.
like before they started dating.
Oh, yeah. Well, there,
But
there
they're
was
still
like, I'm
clinging
sure
to that.
you've watched all the streams that I have at this point. I just watched like the VODs or whatever from the ones, but there's like multiple situations where people have been like, hey, that girl's gonna fucking ruin you, don't date her. Like, people from before they were together.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody's like, "Well, Sam, we've all been saying the same shit." You know what I mean? That she's
Yeah.
gonna fuck his life up.
Yeah. There's
You know what
lots
I
of
mean?
people that
That's
said
not.
that prior to them being together, so it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So it's weird that credit for that, I guess,
Yeah.
since we all kind of saw it happening. He was
Yep.
just the only one that was actually saying it out loud. I guess like there's nobody else bothering to say it like in public. I guess.
Yeah, oh yeah, in public. But I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of people were saying it behind the closed doors where they're like, oh, this is a terrible plan. Like, you don't want to get involved in this.
Yeah, I can't wait for. I feel like Ethan and Gila are really gonna let. They really thought about that bitch all along, even when they thought they were friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh yeah.
She's not that likable. You know what I mean? She's not a likable. Like the only reason people are, for the most part, pretending her is because she's associated with Ian.
Yeah, yeah.
So it'll be interesting if a lot more comes out about that Ethan and Hila get more and more fed up with this shit. Like, yeah, no, she's always been a raging. I guess they've kind of done that, but I feel like there's
Raving
more
cunt.
coming. Wow.
Good
But yeah,
lord.
it's fascinating to watch. I love the psychology of shit like this, so it's interesting to watch all this shit go down.
It's nice when you don't have any sort of like concern for the people involved.
Yeah, yeah. We were just watching the train wreck kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. You're just sitting back watching the train wreck because it's funny. You know, it's like, oh yeah, these people are gonna destroy
Kind of
themselves,
psychoanalyzing
and
what's
we
going
get to
on.
watch it happen for our very
Yeah,
own
he's going to run out of
entertainment.
money. I'm waiting for him to run out of money and see what happens when, because again, she's not sticking around for that, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
You think
yeah.
Anissa's
No,
going
no,
to
no.
stick around once he's broke?
Well, I'm fairly certain they lost a lot of money with the Creator Clash before they sold it. Like, I'm sure they sold it to a company. Like they say, they just walked away, but I'm guaranteeing they took money for it.
Yeah, there's no way they didn't just, forfeit their stake with no
Yeah.
compensation. Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure they took some ducats for that, or they would have lost a ton of fucking money before that. Because there's no way they were willing to like take a hit on their rep without getting the cash money out of it. If they weren't desperate for the money, I think. Because she's too narcissistic to let that go.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So we'll
A lot
see.
of crazy shit, man.
We'll see. It should be interesting to see how that fucking goes, man. I'm genuinely curious to.
Yeah, that breakup should be glorious to watch once it happens.
Better than the one with the fucking psycho from the UK. The one where the guy was super abusive to the girl and then fucking was lying and trying to. I'm Alex. The one better than that one.
Oh, I'm Alex. Yeah, goddamn.
I'm Alex breakup.
Yeah, that's gonna look like a. Yeah, that's gonna look like a fucking cakewalk, dude, compared to the blood from fucking Ian and Issa. Fuck, man.
Pretty very entertaining.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, hopefully it's sooner rather than later.
It'd be interesting to see if Ian has like a fucking redemption arc. You know what I mean? Because apparently he was a decent guy prior to the fucking being involved with Anissa. So like, is the weird sociopathic fucking narcissistic bullshit that he's spewing literally from him, or is that just from her? Is that her influence entirely? Will that change?
No, I think he's adopted her personality.
But
absolutely.
That's the thing. If they break up, there's a good chance he might change.
Yeah.
He might go back to his old personality or change into
it's going to be tough, dude, but
not easy, but
it's going to be tough. But it's possible if he actually realizes what the fuck have I been doing with this raging cunt all this time, and can kind of come back. It's possible, but again, he's been such an asshole. Again, mirroring her personality for so long that it's going to be tough, but yeah, not impossible.
He says he's in therapy, then that's a step, you know.
Yeah. Dude, I've always thought, I'm like, I fully expect
what if his therapist
some
isn't a
big
real therapist?
organization.
Somebody Anissa's set to like fucking manipulate him.
Yeah, just to tell him how worthless he is. You know, to like, reinforce it or something.
Crazy. What if it's not a real therapist? What if it's just like a friend of hers that like pretends to be to fucking keep him?
Yeah, that would not be surprising. That would not be shocking at all.
Obviously, it's not like, true. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying it'd be funny.
I gotta think there's therapist organizations that send those to a cease and desist letter. Like, hey, stop mentioning therapy because you're
Oh, they wouldn't
making.
know. Yeah, unless it's reported, there's no way to know. Like, they wouldn't have any idea.
Yeah, I know.
But,
Yeah, it's funny that it's funny to
and that's
think of
happened to other
because
people,
again,
supposedly. There's other people who've had, like, girlfriends or wives, like, say, hey, we need to go see a couples therapist, and it really turns out to just be one of their friends who had an office in their house or something. And so
yeah,
they agreed to fucking manipulate.
yeah,
Some
that's
nuts.
goddamn, that's dark. That's fucking twisted, man.
What
Yeah.
was it? There was one thing I saw that was very manipulative, but it was a guy doing it as like a screening process for dating. And so his thing was he would take women to like Subway for the first date,
Mm-hmm.
and that was his easy way to scrub out all the fucking
The gold digger
gold diggers.
types.
Because, like, you know, this
Mm-hmm.
the one he was talking to, you see, like, video of it, and she's like, why did you think that I would be okay with this? This is ridiculous. You can afford a better restaurant. And he's like, yeah, I absolutely can. But I'm not going to. Like,
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. Yeah, that's great.
it's like, if you want to spend time with me, then this shouldn't be a problem. If this is a problem, then you're just here for
Yeah,
the
if you're
money, and I'm
only
not
interested in my money.
Yeah, now I know what
Yeah,
kind of person you are, and I don't want to date you.
dude,
And
how do they not
she was
recognize that?
livid. She was like, I got
Oh
ready
yeah.
for this. I took a shower and I did my hair and I put on makeup and I put on a cute outfit. And this is not acceptable. And it's like, you did nothing. All
How
that
did
you
she?
did, all that she
Yeah,
claimed that she did, that was like this big fucking thing. It's like you did the bare minimum to go on a date.
yeah, that's what you're gonna do anyway.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah, it's not
bare
like it was
minimum to
that
go on a
much
date.
more.
Taking a shower and
Yeah,
putting on like a nice outfit
yeah,
and making sure that you're presentable is the absolute bare minimum you
yeah.
can do
The
for a date.
entitlement.
Like, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah,
Acting like that's a
the
big
entitlement
thing,
of women.
like an accomplishment.
Really thinking.
Jesus.
God damn. Yeah, that's weird though. Like, how do you?
Oh, you
Why
just
would you
cut
not
out.
like pretend? Oh shit. Oh fuck yeah. Hold on. Let me turn. Trying to fuck with. Give me just a second. If I'm still coming through. All right. Am I work? Is it working still? Am I
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
through?
yeah. You're coming through now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. But yeah, how do they not recognize that and play along? Like pretend they don't care. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's
It's actually
very
a really
odd
good
that
question.
they'd be like, yeah, it's one day. Like, yeah, if you pretend that you don't care, you could probably get pretty far down the line where you're spending a fucking ton of money on you.
Yeah.
But it's too much of a hit to their pride to have one
How
single
incredibly
fucking
narcissistic do you have to be like, I can't even be
no.
seen at Subway. Like anybody at Subway gives a shit that you're there. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
yeah,
none of those people give a fuck.
yeah,
They're just like there to have a fucking
mm,
sandwich after work.
yeah, yeah. Well, I assume it's not them, which is like ship. Like they don't want to fucking have it be known that they got taken out just a Subway or something.
Yeah.
Like it's just too much a hit to their fucking ego that they
Oh
got
yeah,
taken out
for
of date
sure.
just a Subway. Not even Cheesecake Factory, which also wouldn't be satisfactory apparently.
Oh, I know that's weird. Why would I thought Cheesecake Factory was a fairly nice place. Not like, fucking,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, it's not ultra high end, but
like
it's not
black
a
tie
chain
affair kind of
restaurant.
thing. Like, you're not putting on a suit and
Yeah,
tie for it, but like
yeah,
you're
that
getting
one in
dressed
like Olive
nice.
Garden. Yeah, well, Olive Garden is kind of shit though, right? I haven't eaten there in a while, but
I don't go
special
to
about
restaurants very much at all. Uh,
yeah, it's been a long time for me.
my thing
I
is,
remember Olive Garden not being
uh,
exceptional. I mean, it's decent.
chain restaurants are garbage. Really
Yeah,
nice
almost universally.
restaurants, like where they're like upscale restaurants that are like good, are way more expensive than I can afford or want to afford. I can
Yeah,
cook
yeah,
better
I'd
than
rather
any
make it
chain
at home.
restaurant because all their food is frozen and delivered. None of them are making anything there except maybe like the
Yeah,
salads or some pasta. Most of what they're getting is frozen and heated up. So
yeah,
you're getting a glorified
yeah, and I can
TV
cook well
dinner
enough.
for like anywhere to 20 to $50 a pop for, a glorified TV dinner. And it's like
Yeah,
I can do better
yeah,
than that in my house. And the places that aren't chain restaurants that serve really good food that are hole-in-the-wall places, you can afford those, but you get that delivered. You're not going to go eat there because usually they don't have any room.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So
and also, yeah, especially for like you and I are not great, like fucking world class chefs, but we can both fucking cook fairly well.
I can cook
So yeah,
really
it's way
good. Yeah,
better
I
to
spent a
cook it
lot of
myself.
time improving my cooking skills, specifically working at the group home. So I'm pretty damn good. Yeah.
Yeah,
I would put
yeah,
my
yeah.
stuff
That's like
against some more. I could come up with some stuff that I think would stand up against some of those world class chefs. Not in
yeah. That's what I'm saying.
appearance,
So it's no reason.
not in appearance, but
There's no
definitely in
reason to go to
flavor.
that place. Yeah, and you can do it for like a quarter of the price of what it'd be to go fucking eat out or
Oh
whatever.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah. No,
you
my
know,
son's actually got a decent. He's decent at cooking too, especially for his age.
the most
Although a
recent
lot of it
thing,
I think he
yeah.
learned from me, but he's picked up his own shit along the way.
Yeah, the most recent
So
thing
yeah,
I
he's
came
pretty
up
good
with
at it.
was like a breakfast casserole, which is you put the hash browns on the bottom, you get them. I didn't cook it correctly because it was the first time, so I find out that it didn't brown when you just put the hash browns in the oven in a casserole dish. But
All right.
next time I'll
Mm.
brown them and then put them in. But then you just cover them with eggs and cheese and bake it again until it's all cooked, and serve it with some bell
Nice.
pepper and onions and mushrooms on the side. I'd put the bell pepper, onions, and mushrooms
Yeah.
in it if it were me, but my brother and sister won't eat vegetables, so
hmm
gotta
I
cook for
actually
the
something that
people.
really simple that I was doing
I'd say
sometimes.
that
I'll
would
take like
stand up.
the breakfast sausage links. I'll pick up a few of those patties, chop it up, and throw it onto like a cheap frozen pizza.
Oh,
Like so, it's
nice.
pepperoni and breakfast sausage. That is really good.
That sounds
Just
good.
something that simple, and it's so fucking easy because you just have to cook the sausage. Like you can cook it in the oven.
Yeah.
10, 20, 15, 20 minutes or whatever. Yeah, you just cut it up and throw it on top of the whatever cheap pepperoni pizza, and it makes yeah, like the Jack's. As far as the cheap ones, the Jack's pizzas are actually halfway decent. For a $3 or $4 pizza, it's not bad. But yeah, throwing that extra, breakfast sausage or whatever sausage on top of it makes it like really good. So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a lot of simple shit you can do that doesn't take a lot of effort. That can vastly improve stuff.
Well, like those that myth that white people can't cook spicy food or whatever. It's like
Yeah, it's,
spices are not the only way to make food taste good.
right.
Cooking things properly, taking the time to cook the mushrooms down and cook the onions till they're caramelized. Same with the garlic. Even those little
Mhm.
things can add a lot of flavor that spices are never going to be able to cover up if you don't do properly.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
things are
that's
better plain, like a really good steak. You don't want to add a lot of spice to a really good steak. Yeah.
yeah, just a little, yeah, maybe yeah. In fact, just salt and peppers. Uh, all that a lot of the like famous restaurants use. So like, no, the steak itself is really good.
Yeah, salt and pepper, and a lot of
So
times they'll cook it in butter. Like they'll
yeah,
baste it in
yeah,
butter, a little
yeah.
salt,
That's
pepper,
something.
and then butter, and then that's what you get.
Yeah, that's something that didn't occur to me that my son taught me. It's like, yeah, no, I was watching on the basically spoon or whatever, and you're constantly like spooning the butter that you put in the pan over the top of the steak.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, no, that's pretty goddamn good. All right.
That's why primarily now I pan fry steaks when I'm cooking them. I don't. I used to cook them under the broiler.
All right, right.
Little salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and Worcestershire is usually what I would use. And because that's how my dad did it, so it's like that's the flavor I remember from being a kid and having a really good steak. And
Yeah, yeah. Mm.
just pan fry them in
Yeah,
a
I like
little
a
bit of
little bit of
butter.
garlic.
So good.
Yeah, I use salt. I'll usually use like a seasoned salt or a garlic salt because I like a little garlic in there, and then a little bit of cayenne pepper powder.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But that's
Sometimes I'll
not
mix
really
in a little
necessary.
thyme. One of my favorite things
Mm-hmm.
that I used to do was I would cook green beans and like bacon bits, in a pan, and then when they were like halfway cooked, I would throw in a little butter, put them all to the side, and put the steak in the other half. And you cook all of that together, and then by the time the green beans and the bacon are done, the steak is good, and it's just an excellent fucking combination. Green beans and bacon with fucking steak is fucking delightful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, the green beans at Cracker Barrel, they managed to make make it have a little bit of a smoky flavor. Not sure how they do it, but yeah,
probably liquid smoke,
it's actually
but it
really
doesn't
good.
necessarily mean that's going to be bad. Like liquid smoke is a great flavor to add to some things.
Yeah, it exists for a reason.
Try it.
But yeah, they're so good. It's like because you usually get a couple sides with everything. I'll get mashed potatoes, and then there, I don't think I do it anywhere else, but there I always get the green beans for that reason. So just they do them really well.
Nice. Oh, now that we're talking about food, I think it's almost dinner time, and I am hungry.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, we're almost like 20 minutes past, dude. All right. Yeah, let's call it.
All right.